Chapter 223. After Grandpa Shin met Lin Mu he went back to the Shin family and told Sin Suyun a piece of good news. Sin Suyun knew that Lin Mu promised to visit Shin Rui. So her attitude towards Grandpa Shin became better. You finally behave like a grandfather. You don't have to run around for that bastard every day. Are you going to start again? It was rare for Grandpa Shin to be happy. But Sin Suyun started to pressure him again. Wasn't she annoyed by her words? Sin Suyun knew that Grandpa Shin played a key role this time. So she kept quiet. But there would be a good show in a few days. Because she had been observing the small villa for a few days. But she did not see Muchichi go back. Not even for a day. I've been watching outside for so many days. I've seen all kinds of people. But I did not see Muchichi entering or leaving the small villa. I have asked the people in the villa. There is only one door in the villa. The other doors are all locked. So, I am sure that the bastard has another place to stay. Shin Rui was deep in thought after she heard what her mother said. If she is not staying in the small villa, there is no need to hide it from Grandpa. Unless it is a secret. I think so too. But Muchichi is under the protection of the Sheng family now. It will be difficult to follow her. Mom, you don't have to do it yourself. Go to Xingting University and find a helper. You can ask Muchichi's classmate to help you. Then it will not arouse suspicion. That's a good idea. I'll get it done tomorrow. I'm getting more and more curious. What is the secret of this bastard? By the way, your eldest uncle is also in this hospital. I will bring you to see him when you are better. From the first day the mother and daughter entered the hospital, Shin Jianchuan already knew about it. The mother and daughter who bullied Muchichi were like snakes. They were always scheming. Although he was not in the Shin family, he knew everything about the Shin family. Apart from what Grandpa Shin told him, he could also make his own judgment. So, Shin Jianchuan soon found out from the nurse what the mother and daughter said in the ward. After all, he was an old man in the hospital. It was not too difficult to ask the nurse for a favor. Through the nurse, Shin Jianchuan found out that the mother and daughter were investigating the matter of Muchichi not staying in the small villa. As her father, he deduced that Muchichi was already living with that brat. That was why no one could know about it. She was only 18 years old. Was she going to hand over her life to someone else? Even so, Shin Jianchuan still asked the nurse to contact Muchichi and asked her to come to the hospital. Muchichi did not know what Shin Jianchuan wanted to say, but she could feel that it must be very important. Tell me the truth, Chichi. Are you living with Xing Xiao now? After listening to Shin Jianchuan's question, Muchichi could not deny it. She could only nod in silence. We have been living together. Have you decided on him? Dad, we've already discussed this before, Muchichi answered Shin Jianchuan firmly. Although Shin Jianchuan felt that it was a pity. He had not found a son-in-law for his daughter, but he still told Muchichi about Sin Suyun and her daughter. Even if you don't stay in the small villa, you must go back every day. Even if you come out after that, you must not leave any gap for them to investigate you. Shin Rui and her daughter already know that you have not returned to the small villa for a few days. Now they are planning to bribe your classmates to find out where you are staying. Muchichi felt sorry for Shin Jianchuan. Dad, I'm sorry. I know that my daughter has grown up. But I've told you before that I'm very capable. Even if I lie here and can't move, I can still protect you. Fortunately, they are in this hospital. What would you do if they were in another hospital to deal with you? The matter of Shin Rui liking Xiao Xiao has been exposed. Grandpa is very angry. He beat Shin Rui up and forbade her from leaving the Shin family. If Grandpa knows about it one day, Xiao Xiao and I don't know how sad he will be. Since you're so afraid, why are you still with Sheng Xiao? I can't live without him. Muchichi's eyes were firm. Thank you, Dad. I'll handle this matter well. Handle what? They just want to stir up trouble in front of Grandpa Shin. You just have to play along with them. You can also dispel Grandpa Shin's worries. Shin Rui is so obsessed with Xing Xiao even though she has almost no chance to see him. So, do you think your grandfather will think that you're so close to Xing Xiao? He's just pretending to be ignorant. He's lying to himself before he sees the evidence. I understand. Xiaoqi, it's fine if you like him. It's not a heinous crime. Xing Xiao treats you very well. As a father, I have nothing to say. Your grandfather will accept you sooner or later. Only Shin Jianchuan understood her at this time. Muchichi smiled. I was in a hurry when I left home. So I asked Xiao Xiao to send me here. Do you want to see him? He kidnapped my daughter. Do you think I'll accept him so easily? No way. Shin Jianchuan said. After I recover, I'll ask him to visit me properly. Okay. Mu Qiqi hugged Shen Jianchuan's arm and rubbed against it. She tried to feel her father's warmth and protection. But when she thought about it, she realized that Sun Suyun and her daughter had done too many things to her. She had no reason not to fight back. Just like what her father said, she would play along with them. She would make Grandpa Shen hate them completely. She might even chase them out of the Shen family. She did not want to do that. But someone forced her to do it. Mu Qiqi stayed with Shen Jianchuan for a little longer in the hospital. Then she went home with Xing Xiao. But on the way home, Mu Qiqi had told Xing Xiao about Shen Ruoyi and her daughter. Xing Xiao entered the living room. He did not say a word. He just hugged Mu Qiqi quietly. Since we're playing, let's play it big. But I don't understand why they won't let me go. Shen Ruoyi made a mistake and was punished by Grandpa Shen. But you're fine. So, of course they'll try their best to find fault with you. What's there to understand? At first I wanted to let them go. But they're too scheming. Since they want to investigate so much, I'll let them investigate to their heart's content. There's a path to heaven, but they don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but they want to go. Chapter 224. Lin Mu, and was ordered to visit Shen Ruoyi in the hospital. He behaved like a gentleman and gave her flowers. Sun Suyun could not stop smiling when she saw that. She immediately made room for them and found an excuse to leave the ward. Shen Ruoyi was lying on the bed. She looked like a sleeping beauty. Although she did not have any special feelings for Lin Mu En, she still looked at him gently. Mu En, thank you for coming. Sister Ruoyi, don't say that. I'm worried about your health. Lin Mu En addressed Shen Ruoyi as his sister to draw a line between them. Although he had promised the elders that he would visit Shen Ruoyi, it did not mean that he had to obey their arrangement. Shen Ruoyi could feel that Lin Mu En was trying his best to draw a line between them. It was really strange. He had just said that Mu Qiqi and Lin Mu En were a good match for each other a few days ago. Now he was slapping her in the face. I'm fine. I'll be discharged from the hospital soon. That's good. I have something to do in the afternoon. I won't accompany you anymore. I hope that you'll be healthy the next time we meet. Lin Mu En was a gentleman, but he was too polite. Sun Suyun saw Lin Mu En leaving her daughter's ward so quickly. She could not help but ask, what happened? Did you have a bad conversation? He was ordered to visit me. How could he be sincere? Shen Ruoyi said embarrassedly. It's okay. Feelings can be cultivated slowly. Don't worry. Daughter, when you're discharged from the hospital, you should go out and have fun. Young people will fall in love very soon. Your grandfather has helped you a lot this time. He still has a conscience. What could Shen Ruoyi do? She nodded her head. She would admit to everything. After Lin Mu En left the hospital, he went to the florist again and bought a bouquet of flowers. The florist saw Lin Mu En and smiled at him. Sir, are you going to see a patient again? Is it the same as the one just now? Give me a new bouquet of flowers. I want the most beautiful one. I want the freshest one. And I want the best packaging. Okay. Please wait a moment, sir. This is for your girlfriend, isn't it? You can tell from how much effort you put in. Lin Mu En smiled but didn't say anything. He quickly took the bouquet of carefully wrapped flowers from the hands of the flower shop attendant and went to the martial arts hall. Just like last time, Lu Qianqian had already arrived. When she saw him holding the flowers, she immediately blurted out, "Don't tell me it's for me? Have you received flowers before?" Lin Mu En asked Lu Qianqian as he took off his coat. Lu Qianqian was silent and did not answer. In other words, she did not receive it. Isn't that enough? I'll be merciful today and let you feel the envy of others. After Lin Mu En finished speaking, he went to the changing room. After changing, he came out of the changing room. What do you want to vent about today? I wonder what I'll do in the future. Lu Qianqian pouted. I used to be an obedient child, but I learned a lot of unconventional things from that scum, such as boxing, billiards, and those things in the club. But now, those things are meaningless to me. I'm not as smart as Qiqi. She's studying in Xingting University. She went there to learn how to cut up corpses. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. Anyway, I want to beat you up again today. Think carefully. Including today, you owe me for a total of 2 days. When the time comes, I'll make you pay me back. I'm afraid of you. Lu Qianqian was not afraid of his tricks. But when she saw the bouquet of flowers on the table, she was quite touched. It was like a child who had never been loved and suddenly had a candy stuffed in her mouth. That feeling was really different. You were wearing a suit and leather shoes just now. Where did you go? Shouldn't people of your profession stay at home and think about your plot? I went to visit the patient. A woman? Mu Qiqi's cousin. Lin Mu, and made a fake pose and waited for Lu Qianqian's fist. I seem to understand. Could it be that this bouquet of flowers is... You're thinking too much. It's just a bag of flowers sent to the hospital. It's economical and practical. I was in there for a total of 3 minutes, including the time I took to walk. Lin Mu and shrugged. I don't have a good impression of this woman. It's really rare. It's rare. Eat my punch. Lu Qianqian used all her skills to vent all the resentment in her heart. The two of them stayed like that for another day. Then the two of them lay on the ground, sweating profusely. Lin Mu and suddenly said to Lu Qianqian, "You're the only daughter in your family. The burden of the Lu family will be handed over to you sooner or later. In that case, why do you still have to think of a way out? That's the way you should take on. Wouldn't it be fine if you carry out the successor training? Things seem to be that simple." Lu Qianqian nodded. "Thank you for the flowers." After saying that, she got up and took the bouquet of flowers away. In order to feel the envious gazes of others, she deliberately walked home. Sure enough, the number of heads turned along the way was astonishing, especially from the girls. They were filled with endless envy. At that moment, Lin Mu and got up from the ground and sent a message to Lu Qianqian. "Tomorrow it's your turn to accompany me. Be careful. I'm a person who can ask for anything." Lu Qianqian put away her phone and finally smiled. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi knew that Sun Suyun and her daughter were investigating her. So, she deliberately left the school and went back to her and Xing Zhao's new home. She purposely let the mother and daughter know that she had another place to stay. The students who followed Mu Qiqi could not enter the villa. So, she did not know that Xing Zhao was also in the villa. In order to give Sun Suyun more material to complain to Grandpa Shin, Mu Qiqi would prepare more scenes for others to see. Then when Sun Suyun came with Grandpa Shin, the scene would be interesting. Sure enough, when Sun Suyun knew where Mu Qiqi's new home was, she was very excited. But they could not act rashly. Because Mu Qiqi might have a new home, but it did not mean that she had any secrets. They must find out more about her so that Grandpa Shin would be disappointed or even hate Mu Qiqi. She did not know that Shin Jianchuan already knew about her and Shin Ruoi's scheme. It seems that things are starting to turn for the better. God is helping us. You can be discharged from the hospital in 1 day. Then you should hurry and ask the young master of the Lin family out for a date. Mom, I know what to do. Don't worry about it. Chapter 225. Shin Ruoi knew that Lin Mu and had great potential. But Lin Mu and was not as obedient as he seemed to be. I'll buy some delicious pastries and visit the Lin family tomorrow. I'm relieved that you're enlightened. Sun Suyun was relieved. Shin Ruoi was not enlightened. She just thought of Xing Zhao's hobby of teasing girls. It was so creepy. Moreover, she had embarrassed herself in the Sheng family. Now she just wanted to erase this devil from her mind as soon as possible. So, the next morning, Shin Ruoi went to visit the Lin family after she bought some pastries. But Lin Mu and was in his office. He asked Lu Qianqian to come with him. Imitate my signature. There are 2,000 books that need my signature. Lu Qianqian crossed her arms and shook her head. Why would the readers want to buy your books? Why do you have to fake this? I need them tonight. I won't be able to sign all 2,000 books even if I break my arm. That's easy. Can't you just sign it? It's better to sign for someone else if you're not sincere. Lin Mu and looked at her and shook his head. Then go and take off your clothes. Hey, pervert. Take off your coat and help me take care of the flowers. You don't want to get wet, do you? Lin Mu and turned around and looked at Lu Qianqian. There was an evil smile in his eyes. Or do you want to get wet? Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. Let me tell you. I don't have any feelings for men now. I won't be interested even if you stand in front of me naked. You sound like you should be saying that to men. I don't know how to take care of flowers. I deserve it if you kill them. Lin Mu and smiled and let her be. He focused on sitting in front of the mountain of books, obediently in front of him. He only wrote the word, and in each book. It saved him a lot of trouble. Then he would ask his assistant to prepare 2,000 gifts as a gift to apologize. Looking at Lu Qianqian, she was like a rich young lady when she was quiet. But when she opened her mouth, she was like a firecracker. Lin Mu and was immersed in his signature again. But he received a call from Shin Ruoi soon. And I bought some pastries for you, but I don't know where you are right now. Will I disturb you? Lin Mu and was stunned. Could it be that he didn't make his attitude clear when he went to the hospital? I'm sorry, Sister Ruoi. I have an appointment today. I'll definitely visit you another day to apologize. Lin Mu and always kept a good distance from women he didn't like. He would never give them any chances or misunderstandings. Dating wasn't about making do, it was about liking each other, wasn't it? All right then. After Shinroi hung up the phone, Lin Mu and fell into deep thoughts. Shinroi clearly wanted to matchmake him with Mu Chichi. Why was she so nice to him now? This was not a good sign. Lu Qianqian saw that he was in a daze after answering the phone. She sneered. Since you have an appointment, go? Do you really want me to go? What does it have to do with me? Lu Qianqian continued to bury her head and focus on the plants on the ground. This little pepper was really irritating. It seemed that he had to think of a way to avoid this rotten peach blossom. Shinroi did not know that she did not have a good ending with Xing Xiao. Now that she was in the Lin family, Lin Mu, and still despised her. Of course, before he could avoid this rotten peach blossom, he had to know why Shinroi suddenly went to the hospital and changed her attitude towards him. Perhaps Mu Chichi could answer his question. But according to Mu Chichi's character, she would not gossip about others. So, he could only call the crown prince and ask him about it. He promised Lu Qianqian that he would meet Xing Xiao, and Xing Xiao owed him a favor. It was not too much to ask the crown prince to return the favor, right? So Lin Mu and picked up the phone in front of Lu Qianqian. He dialed Xing Xiao's number. Crown Prince, I need a minute. I want to ask you something. Say it. Xing Xiao raised his eyebrows and put down the contract in his hand. Based on your relationship with Mu Chichi, you must know why Shinroi is hospitalized, right? Grandpa Shin beat her up. What? Because she sneaked into my office and was caught by my mother? I understand now. Lin Mu and understood immediately. Xing Xiao's intention was clear enough. Shinroi failed to fall in love with him and Grandpa Shin found out about it. So she was beaten up. It was the same case of a niece falling in love with an uncle. Mu Chichi's ending was too different. If that's the case, it'll be easy. Thank you, Crown Prince. Lu Qianqian was curious when she heard the two men talking about Shinroi. Is Shinroi related to the Crown Prince? Don't worry. The Crown Prince loves your Xiao Chichi very much. I'm the one who is in trouble now. But I've thought of a way to avoid it. Since she had made a fool of herself in the Sheng family, she still dared to come to him shamelessly? Could it be that he really looked like a spare tire? It had better be so. What will you do if the Crown Prince has another woman outside? I'll let Chichi leave him. Lu Qianqian answered Lin Mu, and firmly. You're such a playboy. You won't understand how pitiful and scary a person can be when they are in love. The Crown Prince is Chichi's first love. She sounded as if Mu Chichi was not Xing Xiao's first love. It was just that no one knew about it. You go and tell the Crown Prince. And you, since you're related to Shinroi, don't come to me. I hate men like you the most. But Lin Mu laughed when he heard what Lu Qianqian said. So, do you think that you're a woman who will have a relationship with me? Yes, we're enemies. Are you satisfied with this answer? This man, 2 out of every 3 sentences he said were meant to seduce women, Lin Mu, and did not continue to quarrel with Lu Qianqian. He was thinking about how he should tell his grandpa about it in an interesting way when he returned home. Lu Qianqian stayed in Lin Mu and studio until the afternoon. Then she thought that she should go and have a meal with Mu Chichi. Because she was interested in Shinroi. Mu Chichi rushed to meet Lu Qianqian after class. Of course, she knew that someone was watching her closely. Chichi, I was in Lin Mu and studio today. I heard Lin Mu and calling the Crown Prince to ask about Shinroi. What's the relationship between the Crown Prince and Shinroi? Mu Chichi smiled. She did not answer her question. Instead, she asked, since when are you so close to Lin Muin? I'm worried about you. Don't worry. I'll tell you slowly. Mu Chichi said as she poured a cup of fruit tea for Lu Qianqian. At the same time, Lin Mu had entered the house. He saw his grandpa and walked to him. Grandpa, Miss Shun came to look for you today, but you weren't here. Chapter 226. Grandpa Lin glanced at him and nodded his head. Go ahead. Lin Mu walked to Grandpa Lin and sat down on the sofa. His expression was complicated. Of course, it was all an act. I heard that Miss Shin is hospitalized because of a man. But the man's family does not want her. So, Grandpa, think about it. Old Shin wanted me to get to know Miss Chichi more during your birthday banquet. But a few days later, she became Miss Ruoi. Don't you think it's strange? I don't want to affect the friendship between you and old Master Shin, but there are some things that I have to say to him. Grandpa Lin thought for a while and did not refute his grandson. It was because Lin Mu had always been considerate. Moreover, he had never disobeyed him on such matters. No matter which lady he met, they would always praise him. So, since Lin Mu and felt embarrassed, he had to investigate Shin Ruoi's case carefully. Is this news reliable? Yes, Grandpa. You know that I won't tell you if it's not because I can't live with it. Don't say any more. Although I'm good friends with old Shin, you're the pride of the Lin family. How can you be someone's backup? Don't bother about the Shin family. You don't have to see Miss Shin if you don't want to. Thank you, Grandpa. Lin Mu, and said it in a subtle way. But Grandpa Lin managed to get the point. It seemed that he did not waste his years in the government. Although he was not as good as the crown prince, he did not need to be a backup. What was Shin Rui thinking about all day? Mu Qiqi told Lu Qianqian about what happened in the Shin family while they were talking. Qianqian was speechless when she heard about Sun Suyun and her daughter. In other words, Shin Rui was scared off by the crown prince. Now she thinks of Lin Muan again. Is that what you mean? Judging from the current situation, it seems so. No wonder Lin Mu and wants to ask the crown prince about this. Perhaps he wants to find a way to get rid of this vase. Lu Qianqian sighed. TSK. She must be worried about getting married. Now she can find herself a backup. Lin Mu and must be very angry. Well, I don't know. How interesting. Lu Qianqian was actually unaware that so much had happened to Mu Qiqi while she was grieving. That mother and daughter are still looking for a chance to expose you and cause trouble? Yes. I can only say that they've eaten a bear's heart and leopard's gall. They're courageous. I really want to know how Lin Mu and got rid of this big vase. So, Mu Qiqi and the others already knew what was going on. Only Sun Suyun and her daughter were still daydreaming. You're so close to Lin Muan. Why don't you just ask him? Go to hell. You're making fun of me. Lu Qianqian pushed Mu Qiqi. After that, Mu Qiqi returned to the villa. The classmate who followed her was really energetic. She and Qianqian had been sitting in the cafe for so long, but she could still hold on. After she entered the villa, the classmate secretly asked the security guard at the entrance which building Mu Qiqi was staying in and what the house number was. However, he did not tell her. So she secretly gave him some cash. Then she got the answer. That girl has moved into our villa for some time. She is living with a man. But I don't know who they are. Every day they go home one after another. If you want to know who her man is, you can come here another day. As for the rest, I can't tell you the house number. It's enough. That's enough. The security guard was satisfied. Because she had gotten what Sun Suyun and her daughter wanted. Mu Qiqi is really living with a man. Sun Suyun was very excited. It's a pity that we don't know who the man is. Mom, Mu Qiqi is not on guard now. It's just a matter of time before they find out. Don't be anxious. Shin Rui reminded her. Let's bear with it for a while. By the way, how did it go when you went to meet young Master Lin today? He's not at home. Shin Rui answered casually while removing her makeup. Don't you know how to look for him when he's not at home? I'll go tomorrow, said Shin Rui. Sun Suyun was satisfied when she heard what Shin Rui said. That's more like it. It was getting colder at night. Mu Qiqi was still walking around the house barefooted. Sheng Xiao carried her on his shoulder and walked to the bedroom when he saw her. Xiao Xiao, are you purposely walking barefooted to make me feel bad? Does your butt not hurt anymore? Sheng Xiao placed her on the edge of the bed. Then he squatted in front of her and put on the soft slippers for her. Mu Qiqi quickly covered her but when he mentioned her butt. Don't spank my butt all the time. I'm an adult now. No matter how old you are, you're still a little thing in my eyes. Moreover, I've been treating you like a father and a brother ever since you started sticking to me. Why are you arguing that you're an adult now? If I want to punish you, I'll have to spank you. I'll remember to wear shoes next time. Can you let me go, Crown Prince? You've gotten what you want. Xing Xiao pinched her nose. Then he stood up and left the bedroom. But Mu Qiqi seized the opportunity and threw herself on his back. Since Suyun and her daughter already know that I'm living with a man here, they'll definitely try their best to confirm the man's identity. Why don't I show my face to them? Xing Xiao teased Mu Qiqi on purpose. I'll let them know that I don't want their daughter. I want you, my little thing. Wait a little longer, Xing Xiao smiled. In fact, he knew very well that the little one did not want to expose their relationship just yet. She always wanted to grow up quickly and become more and more outstanding. That way there would be less gossip about her and it would be better for him. Anyway, my birth is already a topic that people always laugh about. I don't care about my reputation. But I care about you. I don't know what I should do to stop people from talking about me. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He carried Mu Qiqi to the study. Then he let her hang on his back like a koala. Do you love me that much? After a while, Xing Xiao lowered his head and asked the person in his arms. Mu Qiqi was half awake. But she still answered him, I love you. I love you very much. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He just hugged his little one tightly in his arms. Would the love of an 18-year-old make people feel that it was light and weightless? But Xing Xiao believed in Mu Qiqi. The love of an 18-year-old was pure, clean and wholehearted. Chapter 227. These days Shen Rui went to see Lin Mu, and for a few times. But Lin Mu, and rejected her every time. Shen Rui vaguely felt that something was wrong. Lin Mu, and had been perfunctory the last few times. But recently Lin Mu, and was too lazy to be perfunctory. Sometimes he did not even answer her calls or reply her texts. No matter how despicable Shen Rui was, she should know what he meant. But the Lin family and the Shen family had been friends for many years. Moreover, it was the two elders who had helped them. Even if Lin Mu and was dissatisfied with her, he would not pretend that she was pestering him. He was bullying her. Shen Rui was not convinced. So she sent someone to follow Lin Mu, and for a few days. She found out that he was very close to a woman recently. She was Mu Qiqi's good friend, the young lady of the Lu family, Lu Qianqian. Shen Rui did not think much. She went straight to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, you seem to support me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But you don't want to help me, do you? Shen Rui, how can you talk to your elders like this? Huang Yu immediately asked Shen Rui, what happened to your well-mannered and well-mannered demeanor? Second aunt, you don't know this. Grandpa supports me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But he has been ignoring me these days. Do you know who he is with? He is with Mu Qiqi's good friend. The one who had a miscarriage when she was 18. Grandpa Shen frowned when he heard that. You feel uncomfortable too, don't you? I think so too. I am the young lady of the Shen family. How can I lose to a second-hand woman? Moreover, Lu Qianqian is Mu Qiqi's good friend. Can I understand that Mu Qiqi asked her friend to seduce Lin Muan? Father, Mu Qiqi is not that kind of person. Huang Yu immediately spoke for Mu Qiqi. Huang Yu, call Mu Qiqi and ask her to come here. Grandpa Shen did not make a decision. Because he did not know about it, he would not take sides. When Mu Qiqi received the call, she felt that she was in trouble. So she rushed back to the Shen family immediately. Once they entered the house, all the elders were gathered in the living room. Sun Suyun and her daughter were crying and standing at the side while Huang Yu looked furious. Mu Qiqi, do you think our Rui is not miserable enough? Do you want to add insult to injury? Before Grandpa Shen could say anything, Sun Suyun had already accused Mu Qiqi. Of course Mu Qiqi was already used to it. Is it my fault if anything goes wrong in your family? Mu Qiqi asked in return. Mu Qiqi, just tell me. Do you know the relationship between Lin Mu and Lu Qianqian? What's their relationship? Mu Qiqi asked in return. After all, Lu Qianqian and Lin Mu, and did not do those dirty things that they imagined. Then do you know that Grandpa wants me and Lin Mu, and together? When did Grandpa tell me? Mu Qiqi asked. Look at you. You are pretending to be innocent and you don't know anything. You and Lu Qianqian are good friends. Do you dare to say that you don't know that she and Lin Mu, and are together? Grandpa Lin Mu, and has been pretending to be busy these few days. He ignored me. But he is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. How can I not suspect Mu Qiqi? Are you kidding me? Lin Mu, and is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. Why are you looking for me? Mu Qiqi was angry. She raised her voice. Yes, Lu Qianqian is my good friend. But why are you so sure that I know about it? Grandpa, you never told me that you want Shen Rui and Lin Muan to be together. Didn't you? Grandpa Shen nodded. He did not tell Mu Qiqi about it. But he was not feeling well at the moment. He could not say a word. So no one noticed it. Fine. Even if you don't know anything, you should understand my plan now, right? As a member of the Shen family, shouldn't you do something for the Shen family and let your good friend know her place? Don't disturb other people's happy occasion? First of all, I don't think that you are doing something for the Shen family. You are the one who shamelessly went to someone else's office and embarrassed yourself. Why should everyone help you? Why should others help you to live a happy life? Moreover, Qianqian is the young lady of the Lu family. Her family background is not worse than yours. But she is shameless. She had an abortion when she was 18. What about you? You went to someone else's office and got caught red-handed. How good can you be? Grandpa Shen was angry when he heard them quarreling. Shut up, both of you. How can you two sisters quarrel like this? Grandpa, I don't know what this has to do with me. Why did you call me here in the middle of the night? You should find the reason why my sister is not favored by others. You should not ask me. The Lin family is not stupid. Can't they tell the good from the bad? It is obvious that you are trying to drive a wedge between us. Perhaps you have even told the Lin family about what happened to me in the Xing family. It seems that Sister Ruoyi is determined to put the blame on me, isn't it? Mu Qiqi did not argue with Xin Ruoyi when she saw how persistent Xin Ruoyi was. Anyway, no matter how she explained, the mother and daughter were right. How dare you say that it has nothing to do with you? Fine. I admit it. I am the one who did it. I asked Lin Mu, and to ignore you. I also asked my good sister to provoke Lin Mu. So you have no chance at all. Are you satisfied with this? Grandpa, she admitted it. Xin Ruoyi pointed at Mu Qiqi and shouted at Grandpa Xin. Grandpa, yes, I admit it. Not only this time. If there is such a thing in the future, I will interfere. I will tell everyone that the Xing family doesn't want you. Don't you dare. Sun Suyun threatened Mu Qiqi loudly. A bastard is a bastard, slap. No one expected that Mu Qiqi would hit Sun Suyun. If you dare to call me a bastard again, I will let the whole Jianchuan know about your daughter's scandal. Do you believe me? Mu Qiqi, how dare you hit me? If you and your daughter bully me like this again, I will still hit you, Mu Qiqi said fiercely. Isn't it just bullying my father who is lying on the sickbed? Isn't it just bullying me because I didn't grow up in the Xin family? Let me tell you, I, Mu Qiqi, will not tolerate you today. I won't tolerate you in the future. Sun Suyun was furious. She wanted to slap Mu Qiqi. But Xin Lin grabbed her wrist. Third aunt, you can't hit Qiqi. Grandpa, I know that you want to be fair. Because you are not only my grandpa but also the head of the Xin family. But I have told you before that I will not mistreat myself for the sake of this family. Because, to me, I only cherish those who care about me. Chapter 228. Grandpa Xing looked at Mu Qiqi and Mu Qiqi looked back at him with teary eyes. It was the first time that the grandpa and the granddaughter were so tense. I believe you. But, Qiqi, you shouldn't have hurt your elders. Grandpa Xin said after a while. His eyes were blurry. That's a different matter. Apologize to your third aunt. She said that I'm a bastard. If she can apologize, I can too. In the past, I was slandered again and again in the Mu family. No one spoke up for me. Everyone hated me. Is everything going to happen again in the Xin family today? Mu Qiqi was very determined. She replied in a domineering manner. That's right. Is it my fault that Xin Ruoyi can't win Lin Muan's favor? Then Mu Qiqi burst into tears. If you can't accept me, just tell me directly. I'll leave. Why do you have to humiliate me and hurt my heart? Grandpa, is this what you want to see? Xiao Qi. Huang Yu called Mu Qiqi. She felt sorry for her. I'm unnecessary. I'll leave now. Then Mu Qiqi turned around and walked toward the gate without hesitation. At that moment, Grandpa Xin stood up from his seat. He said to Xin Ruoyi in front of everyone. Apologize to Qiqi. Why should I apologize to her? Xin Ruoyi was not convinced. Because you've wronged her. I didn't. Otherwise, why would Lin Mu and be with Lu Qianqian? Mu Qiqi could not bear it anymore. She took out her phone and called Lin Mu on. Then she said in front of everyone, Lin Mu and Qiqi? Lin Mu and did not know that he had caused such a big commotion in the Xin family when he ignored Xin Ruoyi. Can you tell me why you don't want to see Xin Ruoyi? Lin Mu and could hear the trembling in Mu Qiqi's voice. He knew that it was not a simple matter. So he answered her. Mu Qiqi pressed the speaker button. I only treat Ruoyi as my sister. I don't have any other thoughts. So, I think it's necessary for me to let Sister Ruoyi know my attitude. But she thinks that I'm trying to sow discord between you. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. What does it have to do with you? What about Qianqian? Have you been close to her lately? Mu Qiqi, don't I even have the right to make friends? I got to know Lu Qianqian because of filming. We have some interactions and she happens to be your friend. Besides, Lu Qianqian and I are just ordinary friends. But some people think that I asked Qianqian to seduce you, Mu Qiqi said into the phone. They think that it's my fault that you ignore her. Isn't this a little funny? What does this have to do with you? If my words and actions have caused any misunderstanding, I will ask my grandfather to come and apologize to you. Thank you, Lin Mu. After that, Mu Qiqi hung up the phone and looked at Xin Ruoyi. On the other hand, Xin Ruoyi looked terrible. You brought this embarrassment upon yourself. With that, she called Xing Xiao. Can you come and pick me up? Hearing Mu Qiqi's sad voice, Xing Xiao immediately sat up on the sofa. Wait for me. No one knew who Mu Chichi was calling, but they could hear the sadness in her voice. Huang Yu put her hand on Mu Chichi's shoulder to comfort her. At the same time, she understood Grandpa Shin's predicament. Grandpa Shin knew that Xiao Chichi was disappointed in him, because he did not stand up for her in time. So she had to turn her back to him. Now the truth is right in front of us. Tensuyun Shinrui, you have wronged Mu Chichi without distinguishing between right and wrong. You have blamed her for all these groundless crimes. What else do you want? Are the two of you clinging on to Chichi? I've told you that she is just an outsider. She will never side with the Shin family. So what if I wronged her? Can't she take this little punishment? If that's the case, why are you still standing with the Shin family? Get lost. You are the one who should get lost. When the two elders were quarreling, Shinrui cried. I know that I am not as good as your sister in Mu Chichi's heart. But you should think for me. Can't you ask Lu Chanshan not to come and make trouble for us? Mu Chichi did not want to talk to Shinrui at all. She turned her back to the Shin family. In just 15 minutes, Xing Zhao's men came to the Shin family's courtyard. They took Mu Chichi from Huang Yu's hands. What's wrong? Mu Chichi did not say anything. Her eyes were red. It's them. Third brother's family said that Mu Chichi asked Lu Chanshan to seduce Lin Muan. So Shinrui could not be with Lin Muan. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chichi in front of the Shin family. Then he said to Shinrui, I am the one who told Lin Muan about you. What? Do you want to settle the score with me? Shinrui was stunned. Everyone in the Shin family was stunned. Grandpa Shin, what did I say? The Sheng family can afford to raise Mu Chichi. If you don't like her, I can take her away. You promised me that you will not let her be bullied in the Shin family. But how many times have you done that? You and I know what kind of person Shinrui is and what kind of person Sensuyun is. If you think that your compromise and Mu Chichi's tolerance can balance the family, then we don't have to stay in the Shin family. But let me tell all of you, especially Shinrui. If I find out that you bullied Xiao Qi again, I will make sure that you have no place to stay in Jianchuan. I mean what I say. Let's go. Then Xing Xiao wanted to leave with Mu Chichi. But Mu Chichi shook her head and walked toward Shinrui. Slap. It was another slap. Since I am wrongly accused, I will make sure that it is true. From today onwards, I will ruin your plan. With that, Mu Chichi followed Xing Xiao, and the two of them soon disappeared from the Shin family's residence. Mu Chichi asked Xing Xiao to come and pick her up. How sad must she be for her to do that? Grandpa Shin could not say anything at this moment. He felt that there were always so many things happening in the family when Sensuyun was around. Father? Huang Yu was worried about Grandpa Shin's health, so she called out to him. But Grandpa Shin waved his hand and said to Shinrui and her daughter, both of you should move out. The Shin family will not keep you anymore. Sensuyun and Shinrui were shocked when they heard that. Grandpa. Chapter 229. Grandpa Shin stood up from the chair. He held his breath and walked at Sensuyun. Before she could say anything, he slapped her face and shouted hysterically. Get lost. Get lost as far as you can. Then Grandpa Shin's body fell down. The Shins were so frightened that they came forward to help him. Father, Grandpa. Shinrui wanted to help Grandpa Shin. But Shinlin pushed her away. Because of you, the Shin family is in a mess. Grandpa has collapsed because of you. Are you happy now? Don't touch Grandpa. Shinlin, ignore them. Send your grandpa to the hospital. Grandpa Shin wanted to speak for Mu Chichi, but he could not, because he had been holding on. He was heartbroken when he saw what happened. He knew that Mu Chichi was disappointed in him, but he did not want Sensuyun to hold Xiao Qi's weakness against her. Mu Chichi even hit him. Chichi. Grandpa Shin kept calling Mu Chichi's name when he was unconscious. Huang Yu was helpless, so she called Mu Chichi. Chichi, I know you are angry with your grandpa, but he has fainted. He is on the way to the hospital. Come and see him. Because of the phone call, Xing Xiao suddenly changed his route home. Grandpa Shin was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. The doctor checked him and knew that he was hurt. How can you make an old man so emotional? Normal people should not be able to take it. Are you trying to kill him? Fortunately, Grandpa Shin's life was not in danger. But he still did not wake up. After a while, Mu Chichi arrived at the ward. She felt bad when she saw Grandpa Shin lying on the bed. Chichi, actually, Grandpa loves you. But the doctor said that he has not recovered from his cold. There is inflammation in his lungs. It has not happened yet. He is feeling very uncomfortable. After you left, Dad slapped Sensuyun hard. Then he asked them to leave the Shin family. He loves you. Don't be angry with him. Mu Chichi walked to Grandpa Shin's bed and shook her head. I'm not angry with him. Dad is old. There are many things that he can't do. He just wants you to be well. Mu Chichi held the old man's hand. She understood that it was a lose-lose night. No one had the upper hand. Especially when Grandpa Shin was hospitalized. Mu Chichi took a deep breath. She took a long time to calm down. You must be tired today. Go back and rest. Shinlin will take care of your grandfather. He will tell your grandfather that you are not angry with him. Late at night, Huang Yu patted Mu Chichi's shoulder and comforted her. Don't think too much. Rest well. Mu Chichi got up from the chair and went home with Xing Xiao. But on the way home she did not say a word. Xiao Xiao, Mu Chichi. Dawn. Xing Xing. Xing Xiao ran all the way with her. He was still angry about how she had been wrong just now. Because the moment he received Mu Chichi's call, Mu Chichi's aggrieved tone was still in his heart. He could not forget it no matter how hard he tried. This little one had been with him for a long time. She had never felt so wronged. But tonight he heard it again. His heart felt like it was rolling in a pan of oil. The feeling of being tightly gripped was really torturous. So just now he ran red lights all the way. Mu Chichi did not say anything. It was not worth it for them. So she hugged Xing Xiao's arm. Everything was the same when they reached home. Because she believed that the mother and the daughter would be punished by God. Since Suyun was still in a state of disbelief. Grandpa Shin had told her and Shin Ruoi to move out of the Shin family. Although Elder Sheng had collapsed, he was serious about what he said. Mom, why are you still here? Shin Ruoi asked Sin Suyun while holding the suitcase. Didn't you hear what Grandpa said? Roy, your grandpa asked us to move out. Are we going to move out? Sin Suyun grabbed Shin Ruoi's shoulder and shook it. I'm not leaving. I'm a part of the Shin family. But Grandpa is serious. We still have to leave when he comes back. No, I'm not leaving. I'll wait for him to come back. I beg him. I beg him not to let us wander outside alone. Sin Suyun cried. I didn't expect that your grandpa would chase us away because of that bastard. Mom, maybe we've gone too far. Shin Ruoi regretted. It seems that Mu Chichi has nothing to do with this. We've suffered a great loss now. Grandpa will never trust us anymore. Humph. I want to stay. I haven't found out the secret of that little B*TC. I'll stay until then. So, the mother and daughter were shameless. They did not listen to Grandpa Shin's order. But they still had Shinlin in the family. After they came back from the hospital, Shinlin threw Shin Ruoi and Sin Suyun's belongings out of the Shin family. Shinlin, have you been bewitched by that little B*TC? How could you do this to me? Grandpa asked you to get out of the Shin family. Shinlin did not just throw their luggage out. He even kicked them out of the Shin family. Because of you, the Shin family will never be peaceful again. Why don't you say that it's because of that little B*TC? I'll sew your mouth shut if you dare to say anything bad about Mu Chichi again. Get lost. After that, Shinlin closed the main door of the Shin family and asked the guards at the door not to let them in. Since Suyun did not expect that she would be thrown out of the Shin family. She was furious. But she could not do anything to Shinlin. Mom, let's find a hotel nearby and wait for Dad to come back. Shin Ruoi helped Sin Suyun up. Just you wait. I'll come back sooner or later. By then I'll cut Mu Chichi into pieces. Moreover, she had just found out Mu Chichi's secret. How could she give up? But Lin Mu and Lu Qianqian felt bad about what happened in the Shin family. Although it had nothing to do with them. But the Lin family came to Grandpa Shin's house early in the morning to apologize. Brother Shin, I'm sorry. I've made you suffer. Grandpa Lin apologized to his best friend. It's all my fault. She didn't do a good job. That's why it's a disaster. And come and apologize to Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin, it's my fault. It's not your fault. Grandpa Shin waved his hand. But how did you know that girl from the Lu family? Chapter 230. Grandpa, you've always taught me that I can't deny a person's entire life just because he made one mistake. Moreover, Lu Qianqian is not a heinous person. Could it be that we can't even have normal contact because of her bad reputation? You are just like Mu Chichi. Young people are not as rigid as us. Grandpa Shin stood up and spoke for Lin Muan. Since Grandpa Shin is speaking for you, I will forgive you for now. But you must know your place. It's better for you to stay away from a girl like Lu Qianqian. Grandpa, I know what I'm doing. Grandpa Lin snorted. This matter was over. But he still felt sorry for Shin Ruoi. It's such a pity for Ruoi. Grandpa Lin was not thinking about Shinruoi. He was thinking about Muchichi. How could she trust him after she hurt Muchichi's feelings yesterday? Grandpa Shin, let's forget about the matter between Mu, En and Ruoi since the two of them quarreled with each other. Grandpa Shin nodded. I understand. You can't force a relationship. It's the children's business. Let them deal with it themselves. You're right. Lin Mu, and heaved a sigh of relief. But at the same time he felt uncomfortable. In the eyes of the older generation, murder and arson were not as dirty as a girl getting pregnant and having a miscarriage. They would think that the girl was not a good girl. But to him it was just a little chilly who met the wrong person. That was all. After old Master Lin and Lin Mu and left, Huang Yu sat by the bed and told Grandpa Shin. Shin Lin threw the mother and daughter out of the Shin family. Dad, I know what you said in a fit of anger yesterday might not be true, but Shin Lin, it's good that he threw them out. Unexpectedly, Grandpa Shin agreed with Shin Lin's action. If we don't teach them a lesson, they will always be so shameless. They won't give up on Muchichi. Muchichi was wronged yesterday. She must be very sad. But she still came to see you when I called her. Although she was sad, she was not angry at you. I'm sorry for the child. I'm sorry for Boss. Grandpa Shin sat on the bed and grabbed the quilt tightly. He could not let go of his feelings. When he thought about it, he hated Sensuyun even more. Chichi will understand. She can also tell that eighth brother cares about this child very much. Grandpa Shin did not say anything. It was exactly what he was worried about. Shin Jianchuan was indeed the person who knew him the best. Shin Ruoi did not even have the chance to get close to Xing Xiao in the past, but she was so infatuated with him. Chichi had spent so much time with Xing Xiao. How did she feel about Xing Xiao? However, Grandpa Shin did not say it out loud. Shin Ruoi and Sensuyun had to stay in a nearby hotel for the night because they were chased out of the house. When third elder of the Shin family came back from a business trip, he found out that his wife and daughter had been chased out of the house. Of course he was angry. Even if they were in the wrong, they were still a family. Was there a need to be so cruel? Third brother Shin went straight to the hotel and put his wife and daughter's luggage in the car. Let's go home. Dad, we were kicked out by Grandpa. You are my family. Who dares to chase you out? Come with me to the hospital. After that, third brother Shin brought his wife and daughter to the hospital. Then he went to Grandpa Shin's ward. You stand here. I will go in. Third brother Shin stopped his wife and daughter outside the ward. After he entered the ward, he questioned Grandpa Shin. Dad, I did not come back for one night. Why did my wife and daughter get chased out of the Shin family? Third brother, Dad has just recovered. Don't be angry at him. Huang Yu immediately said to third brother Shin. I cannot be angry at you, Dad. But I will bring Ruoi and Suyun home now. Is it necessary for our family to end up like this? Dad, you're forcing me to be enemies with Muchichi. Grandpa Shin pointed at third brother and said, You should move out too. Dad, who asked you not to take care of your wife and daughter? You are taking advantage of my old age to do whatever you want in the Shin family. You accuse this person and provoke that person. Do you want me to die? Grandpa Shin was ruthless. He said the toughest words. Either you stay and they go, or the three of you get lost. Dad, I will discipline them. Please give us another chance. If they really do it again, it won't be too late for you to kick us out. Just for Ruoi's sake, you can't let your granddaughter wander outside, can you? You wanted to bring Muchichi back because you don't want the bloodline of the Shin family to wander outside, right? Grandpa Shin remained silent for a while. Finally he said, It is not impossible for them to come back. But the mother and daughter must apologize to Muchichi in front of her. They must promise that they will not do it again. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about. All right. I will ask them to apologize to Muchichi. In front of me. It's a deal. Third brother Shin had no choice but to leave the ward with Grandpa Shin's condition. He told the mother and daughter about it. But such a condition was worse than letting Sensuyun die. Last night, Muchichi had slapped both mother and daughter in a row. I would rather die than bow down to this ****. Just bear with it for now. You can find a chance to teach her a lesson in the future. Do you want to wander outside? Sensuyun thought for a while. She suppressed her disgust and nodded. I will bear with her this time. It was because she and Shin Ruoi had found the place where Muchichi was fooling around with other men. Once they got the evidence, she would ask Muchichi to kneel down in front of Grandpa Shin. Ruoi, what do you say? Third brother Shin asked his daughter. I will listen to you. She did not have the temper to live outside. Moreover, it would be difficult to deal with Muchichi after she left the Shin family. If that's the case, find a time to apologize to Mu Chichi personally. Moreover, the two of you should behave yourselves from now on. Don't pick on Mu Chichi in front of Dad. You know very well that she is his favorite. Sin Suyun snorted. What favorite? If Grandpa Shin knows about Mu Chichi's true colors, I'm afraid he will stab his own eyes. You can say it when you get the evidence. Otherwise, you will suffer in silence like what happened yesterday. Just wait and see. Chapter 231. Actually, Mu Chichi knew very well that it was almost impossible to drive the mother and daughter out of the house after what happened last night. After all, they did not do anything wrong. Moreover, Grandpa was still angry. But for the mother and daughter to lower themselves to apologize to her, she felt that she could accept it. Because it had nothing to do with her. So she replied, Huang Yu. I will come over after class. Then Mu Chichi sent a message to Xing Xiao. She told him that she would go to the hospital after class. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. He only said, Don't let me hear your sad voice again. I will lose control. She saw Xing Xiao losing his temper last night. But she did not want him to lose control again. I will not show any mercy to the mother and daughter. You better. Mu Chichi's sad voice last night kept replaying in Xing Xiao's mind. When he thought of it, he wanted to take out his gun and kill her. How would you feel if a few pieces of trash touched something that you treasured so much? Mu Chichi smiled and pocketed her phone. His loss of control last night had made her realize even more deeply how deep his feelings for her were. In the past, she always thought that she had given more feelings to him. But when she thought of Xing Xiao's anxious expression last night, she suddenly felt that she was too stupid and naive. After the incident with Shen Rui, Lin Mu, and still texted Lu Chanxian as usual. But Lu Chanxian ignored him. TSK. Did I offend you, little pepper? Lu Chanxian read the message. But she did not reply. Because she could imagine what kind of words they would say when she was mentioned. She was a delinquent. Shameless. She should stay away from her. Because of that, when Mu Chichi did not care about what others thought of her and still treated her as a good friend, she swore that no man would be able to replace Mu Chichi in her heart. She could not have a man. But she must not let her friend down. Lin Mu, and looked at his phone and did not reply. Actually, he could guess the answer. They were all adults. They did not need to be so naive. Because many problems were very practical. Since they were people from two different worlds, there was no need to forcefully link them together. What was the point of adding unnecessary harm? Of course, Lu Chanxian had also considered Lin Mu An's suggestion that day. Since she could no longer go abroad, she should take on the responsibility of the family. So Lu Chanxian took the initiative to tell Papa Lu, Dad, I will learn how to do business from you in the future. Pleased, Papa Lu smiled lovingly at Lu Chanxian. No matter what outsiders think of my daughter, I will always be proud of you. Dad, don't worry. I won't let you down. Because no one could rely on their youth to constantly make mistakes and not grow. Soon the sun set in the west and the blood-red rays of the setting sun were reflected on the tall buildings of the hospital. At that moment, Mu Chichi was already at the door of Grandpa Sheng's ward with a medical book in her hand. Chichi, you're here. Come in. Huang Yu saw Mu Chichi through the crack in the door and quickly said to her. Mu Chichi pushed the door open and saw Grandpa Shen lying on the bed. Sin Suyun and Shen Rui were standing beside the bed. It seemed that they were ready to apologize. Shao Qi, Grandpa. Mu Chichi put down the book and sat beside Grandpa Shen. Where's the one who should apologize? Grandpa Shen did not turn his head. But he was hinting at Sin Suyun and Shen Rui. Sin Suyun took a deep breath. Although she was not happy, she could only endure it. She looked at Shen Rui and turned her body slightly to look at Mu Chichi. Chichi, it's my fault last night. I wronged you. I hope you won't take it to heart. I'm sorry. Chichi, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have wronged you. I won't do it again. Please forgive us. It was a very stiff sentence. It was as if she had memorized her lines beforehand. It did not sound like she was apologizing sincerely. Of course, Mu Chichi did not look at them. She lowered her head and said, You're just afraid of being chased out of the house. So, you had to endure it this time. It doesn't matter whether I forgive you or not. What do you mean by it won't happen again? Only you believe it when you say it? But I have to respect Grandpa. I won't pursue it anymore. But if it happens again, I won't be polite. There won't be a next time. Sin Suyun smiled apologetically. But she kept reminding herself to endure it. Anyway, this little bitch would not be arrogant for long. Chi-Chi, trust me. I'll discipline them well. Shen Chanshan quickly promised her. Otherwise, I won't have the face to see Dad anymore. Since you've apologized, get out of here. Chi-Chi and I don't want to see you anymore. Grandpa Shin held Mu Chi-Chi's hand and said to Shin Shanshan and his family. Shin Shanshan did not say anything else. He left the ward with his wife and daughter. When they were at a place where the Shins could not see them, Shin Shanshan said, "Let's move back now. We don't want Mu Chi-Chi to play tricks on us and make Grandpa Shin change his mind." In the ward. Chi-Chi, Shin Shanshan and his family are like this. "I'm sorry that you've been wronged. Why do you have to be hospitalized because of anger? Is it just to make me feel bad?" Mu Chi-Chi's eyes were red. "You shouldn't be so agitated no matter how I fight with the Shin family. You're already so old. Why are you still getting involved? Are you trying to make me feel guilty?" Grandpa Shin's hands were trembling. He patted Mu Chi-Chi's head. "I didn't dote on you for nothing. Shin Shanshan and his family only cared if they would be chased out of the house when they saw him hospitalized. They were worried that they would get nothing. But Xiaoqia was different. She was really concerned about his health. If I fight with them again in the future, you can just hide in the pond. I'll just tear the roof off the Shin family's house. I'll just put the roof back on." Grandpa Shin smiled weakly. Huang Yu sat at the side and cried quietly. Mu Chi-Chi was really a sentimental child. Compared to her, Shin Shanshan and his family seemed to be heartless. Fortunately, Grandpa Shin knew that he would be treated sincerely by his granddaughter if he could tell right from wrong. Otherwise, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Just wait and see. That family is still going to make trouble. Grandpa Shin understood it very well. Xing Xiao was right about something last night. He hoped that the family could be balanced. But there would always be people who had endless desires. It was time to make a choice. Even if Shin Shanshan and his family were no longer part of the Shin family, he believed that Mu Chi-Chi would be able to bear the burden of being the head of the family. But, was there any relationship between her and Xing Xiao that beyond being a benefactor? Chapter 232. Since Suyun arranged for someone to follow Mu Chi-Chi from the school to the new house. She wanted to wait for the wild man to show up. She thought that Sun Suyun and Shin Rui would restrain themselves after being taught a lesson. But she had underestimated their determination to deal with her. "The tutor I hired for you will come to your house to tutor you from tomorrow onwards." Xing Xiao took the chance to tell her when they were at home. "The security guard at the door will help you." The security guard thought that the tutor was Mu Chi-Chi's man. He pointed him out to Sun Suyun and asked her to take a photo. He thought that the tutor was the man who lived with Mu Chi-Chi. Then the tutor would come to her house to tutor her at a fixed time every day. Sun Suyun thought that the tutor would come home at the same time every day. Then she would bring Grandpa Shen to catch them in the act. As for Jing Yun, he blocked the identity of the tutor so that Sun Suyun would not be able to find out his background. Then he arranged for another child to tutor Mu Chi-Chi every day. So, it would not be difficult for a man and a woman to talk to each other. If Sun Suyun dared to tell Grandpa Shen about it, she would be kicked out of the Shin family. As for the information of the villa, Xing Xiao had temporarily transferred it to Lu Wenhua's name so that he could deal with Grandpa Shen's investigation. The security guard at the entrance of the villa would cooperate with him. Sun Suyun and Shin Rui would bring Grandpa Shen to their house. Everything was ready. Sun Suyun also got the man's photo. Not only that, she also got a photo of Mu Chi-Chi and the man walking out of the villa together. Sun Suyun thought that she would not take action immediately. She wanted to investigate the man's background first. She wanted to give Mu Chi-Chi a fatal blow. She wanted Mu Chi-Chi to never be able to make a comeback in front of Grandpa Shen. But she could not find anything. And because she could not find anything about the man, Sun Suyun became even more suspicious. The more he did not want others to know about it, the more suspicious it would be. 2 days later, Grandpa Shen was discharged from the hospital. Sun Suyun and Shin Rui quietly went to the hospital to fetch Grandpa Shen. But they did not say a word during the whole process. It seemed that they had learned their lesson. But they were plotting something behind their backs. Mu Chi-Chi knew what the mother and daughter were planning, and was waiting for them to make their move. But this time the mother and daughter managed to keep their composure. Grandpa Shen also found it strange. With Sun Suyun's personality, how could she not cry or make a fuss? One could imagine how big of a secret was hidden behind her current silence. On the night when Grandpa Shen returned to the Shin family, he told Shin Rui directly at the dining table, "Old Lin came to me personally and told me about the matter between you and Lin Muan. Just let it go. That guy doesn't like you. You can't force him." "Yes, Grandpa." Shin Rui was calm. Grandpa Shin stole a glance at Sun Suyun and realized that she did not say a word. Why aren't you speaking when it's your turn to speak? I have talked to Ruoy about this a long time ago. We are not going to marry into the Lin family. Sun Suyun appeared to be calm, but she was actually panicking. I hope that you really want to understand and not do some dirty tricks behind my back. Grandpa Shin reminded him while he was eating. Third brother, don't forget what you promised me. If this mother and daughter cause trouble in the Shin family again, please get out of the Shin family. I have accepted it. Even without you, I still have eldest brother, second brother, and youngest brother. Third brother looked at his wife and daughter and nodded. Don't worry, father. Because he could feel that Grandpa Shin was not willing to put his energy on the mother and daughter anymore. He was completely disappointed. Sun Suyun did not say anything. But she felt upset. She obviously hated Mu Chichi to the core. Shin Rui wanted to tell Grandpa Shin what kind of person Mu Chichi was. But Sun Suyun stopped her. It's not the right time yet. Let's wait for Grandpa Shin to calm down first. I'm afraid that Mu Chichi will notice it. We can't do that. Didn't you hear what Grandpa Shin said? If we cause trouble again, he will drive me out. We will do it when he is in a better mood. Shin Rui was very angry. She was filled with hatred when she thought about how she slapped her that night and how she spoke to Mu Chichi in the hospital. And Lin Muhan. How could he choose a pair of used shoes instead of her, a pure and innocent young lady? She felt terrible when she thought about the humiliation. She needed to find a stronger backer so that those who had humiliated her would all regret it. These few days Lin Mu and tried to tease Lu Chanqian with words. But she did not respond to him. Was this little pepper really angry? Did she not want to play with him anymore? Lin Mu and felt that he should give up now. Lu Chanqian's attitude was very obvious. So there was nothing else he could do. He could only lose a friend. The filming of Reuniting the Mirror was ready. But the producer told him that the person who replaced Lu Chanqian was not going to act in the role. So they had to find another actor. Lin Mu and wanted Lu Chanqian to act in the role again. But according to Lu Chanqian's character, she would not return. She would not accept his invitation. After thinking about it, Lin Mu and felt strange. Why did he always try to get involved with Lu Chanqian? It was not a good sign. Then Lin Mu and deleted Lu Chanqian's number from his phone. It was not fun to play such a dangerous game. Actually, after Lu Chanqian agreed to be Papa Lu's successor, she had to start training as a private tutor. To her, Lin Mu and was just a person she knew among thousands of people. Moreover, she had her pride. Even if she had an abortion and her reputation was ruined, she would not throw herself at a man. These few days, Grandpa Shin was thinking about changing Mu Chichi's surname. It was because Sun Suyun kept saying that Mu Chichi did not have the same surname. He also wanted Mu Chichi to return to the family. So, Grandpa Shin discussed it with the Shin family at the dining table. Shin Jinyun and his family did not have any objection. They felt that it was reasonable. But, Sun Suyun and the others had different opinions. If they changed Mu Chichi's surname, it seemed that Shin Rui would have to give way to Mu Chichi from now on. She would have to give up her position as the eldest daughter of the Shin family. So, Sun Suyun did not look happy. But she held it in. Chapter 233. I don't mind. Sun Suyun quickly expressed her attitude. Although you don't mind, I don't think so. Dad, I can't do anything if you say so. Sun Suyun took the opportunity to leave the dining table. She had not found a chance yet. If she found one, she would let everyone see how shameless and audacious Mu Chichi was in the outside world. Dad, Suyun did not say anything. Moreover, you don't have to be so aggressive just because of Mu Chichi. Shin Chanqian could not stand it anymore. He put down the bowl that he just picked up. This is my home. I can force whoever I want. Shin Chanqian had no choice but to leave the table. He could not stay in the house anymore because of the current atmosphere. When Shin Chanqian returned to his room, Sun Suyun was wiping her tears. She cried even harder when she saw her husband. What does your father mean? Since he asked us to come back, he treated us with such an attitude. Is he trying to force us to leave so that Mu Chichi can come in openly? Isn't he still angry? Does your father know what Mu Chichi has done outside? Sun Suyun asked Shin Chanqian loudly. Lower your voice. Do you really want to be kicked out of the Shin family? Sun Suyun stopped talking. She could not stand it anymore. She wanted Mu Chichi to die a horrible death tomorrow. She did not believe that Grandpa Shin would remain indifferent when he saw Mu Chichi's debauchery. So, she had to hold it in for the time being. Mu Chichi had been waiting for Sun Suyun to make a move. But this time, Sun Suyun was really patient. She was the one who lost her patience. Sheng Xiao saw that Mu Qiqi was restless at home. So he held her butt and spanked her. Are you still itchy now? Mu Qiqi covered her butt and looked at Sheng Xiao sadly. Xiao Xiao, I will be very anxious if I don't let this matter go. Xin Jianchuan was right. Grandpa must be suspicious about her relationship with Xiao Xiao. He just did not want to believe it or prove it. She wanted Sun Suyun to jump into the trap as soon as possible so that Grandpa Shen would be at ease. My mom asked me to take you to Xing Mansion. Do you want to go? However, Xing Xiao did not answer her about Sun Suyun. Instead, he threw another bomb at her. Meeting the Sheng family? Mu Qiqi promptly straightened up from the sofa and stared at Xing Xiao. I don't think I'm ready. I don't know the Sheng family at all and there are so many people in your family. Xing Xiao chuckled when he saw how nervous she was. You'll have to go in sooner or later, and since it's my mother's arrangement you won't meet too many Shengs. It's just that she wants to go to the resort and find someone to play with. Since you're so nervous, I'll ask Jing Yun to reject her. But will she be unhappy? You're busy with your studies? That's the best excuse. With that, Xing Xiao stroked Mu Qiqi's hair to comfort her. This little one was nervous at the mention of the Sheng family. It seemed that the Sheng family was giving her a lot of pressure. They remained silent for a long time. Then Mu Qiqi raised her head and looked at Xing Xiao. I'm a coward, aren't I? Xing Xiao did not say anything. He hooked his arm around her neck and pulled her closer to him. Then he kissed her. An ugly daughter-in-law will have to meet her in-laws sooner or later. But the chances of your family acknowledging our relationship is only 1 in 100,000. Mu Qiqi retorted. If that's the case, do you still want to be with me? Xing Xiao raised his eyebrows. I won't leave you. Xing Xiao could not bear to tease her anymore. He pressed her head into his arms. I don't need anyone's permission to be with you. Mu Qiqi could not help but smile when she heard that. She felt so sweet in her heart. In order to make the plan go smoothly tomorrow, Sun Suyun tossed and turned in bed for the whole night. She could not sleep well. It was because it was a life-and-death battle for her and Shen Rui. If Mu Qiqi did not die, they would die. To ensure that Grandpa Shen would catch Mu Qiqi and that man together, Sun Suyun asked the student to wait outside the villa. Once the man was back, she would send a text message to the Shen family and inform them to go and watch the show. If you want to see Mu Qiqi's real face, go to XX Place XX Villa. The show is going on. Everyone in the Shen family received the text message, including Shen Rui and Sun Suyun. Father. I suddenly received this. Huang Yu rushed to the study room and looked for Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, I received it too. Shen Lin passed the text message to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen's face darkened. He immediately thought of Sun Suyun and her mother. But they received the text message too. Sun Suyun, have you forgotten what I told you before? You are stirring up trouble again. Father, I received the same text message too. Don't accuse me without any reason. Isn't it the same as how we wronged Mu Qiqi the other day? I don't know who sent it. Sun Suyun explained immediately. If someone did not do it on purpose, how could they know our phone number? How would I know? I received it too. Father, I think we should go and have a look at this place first. Huang Yu stopped Grandpa Shen from quarreling with Sun Suyun. She was afraid that Grandpa Shen would fall sick again. Moreover, we have to see Mu Qiqi first before we can verify what is going on. The old man snorted loudly. The intimate photos of Mu Qiqi and the man in the mobile phone were very obvious. This kind of bait was good enough. Huang Yu, arrange a car immediately. We'll go and take a look at Qiqi now. Grandpa Shen said to Huang Yu. Then he turned around. But if this is just a rumor, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Grandpa Shen pointed at Sun Suyun and said. But if you're trying to stir up trouble again, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Sun Suyun and Shen Rui looked at each other. As long as they could lure Grandpa Shen to find out Mu Qiqi's real face, they would be successful. She did not believe that Grandpa Shen would still have the mood to trouble her when he knew that he was fooled by Mu Qiqi. Huang Yu looked at Sun Suyun meaningfully. It was too obvious. She did not believe that the mother and daughter were innocent. But she believed in Mu Qiqi's character. She wanted to see the mother and daughter being chased out of the Shen family once again. Therefore, the group of people, each with their own thoughts, set off towards the villa in a grandiose manner. Chapter 234. When they arrived at the villa, the security guard at the entrance stopped the 2 cars. After all, it was a private house. It was not a public place. Shen Lin was in charge of communicating with the security guard. He placed his right hand on the security guard's shoulder and pointed at Grandpa Shin in the car. He said to the security guard, "I'll tell you his identity secretly. Send someone to verify it. Then tell me which villa this girl lives in. We're going to see her. She's Grandpa Shin's granddaughter. Now that she's in danger, you don't want anything bad to happen to the villa when you're on duty, do you?" The security guard lowered his head and looked at Grandpa Shin through the window. He took the identity card and the phone from Shinlin and turned around to verify it. After confirming Grandpa Shin's identity, he was shocked. He quickly told Shinlin which villa Mu Chichi lived in. Then he let them pass. After that, Shinlin returned to the car. But, Sin Suyun said sarcastically, "Shinlin is so protective of Mu Chichi. I'm afraid that the security guard has already informed him. I don't think that Mu Chichi has done anything shameful. So, she won't know that we're going to the villa tonight." Shinlin explained. "But you, third aunt, someone sent us a message. He asked us to come and see Mu Chichi. Why do you look so excited? Is there a conspiracy behind this?" "Whether there is a conspiracy or not, we'll know when we go and see her. Grandpa has made it clear. If Mu Chichi did not spread those rumors in the message, you and Shin Rui will be kicked out of the Shin family this time." Sin Suyun was not scared. Moreover, she had followed Mu Chichi for a long time. If she did not have any evidence, how would she dare to lure Grandpa Shin to the villa? "You should worry about Mu Chichi. Brother, this has nothing to do with us," Shin Rui explained to Shin Lin. "We've promised Dad that we won't cause any trouble in the Shin family. So we'll keep our promise." But, who would believe what Shin Rui said? At least, second brother and his family did not believe it. Soon, the two cars found the house number of Mu Chichi's villa. Seeing that the lights in the villa were on, they were sure that there must be someone inside. However, whether it was Mu Chichi and that man, they would only know if they went in. Grandpa Shin glanced at Shin Lin and signaled him to knock on the door. However, Sin Suyun stood in front of Shin Lin and stopped him. "What if he alerts Mu Chichi? We are already at the door. Why are you reminding me?" Although Shin Lin said so, he still took 2 steps back and let Sin Suyun knock on the door. No one knew what was going on behind the door, and whether Mu Chichi was living with a man. Sin Suyun stared at Shin Lin. She walked to the front of the villa and rang the doorbell. Soon a man walked out and opened the door for the Shins. When the Shins realized that this was the man in the photo, their facial expressions changed. However, Sin Suyun was smiling coldly and proudly. "Who are you looking for?" The man asked the Shin family curiously. "Father, did you see it? It seems that someone sent a message to us." "He is not lying. He is already in the villa. Since Mu Chichi is living with a man, it is impossible for her to escape from this, right?" Sin Suyun looked at the man who was crossing his arms. He was not afraid at all when he said those sarcastic words. "May I know who you are looking for? Do you know that you are trespassing on private property?" Huang Yu glanced at Shin Lin. Shin Lin understood what Huang Yu meant. So he pulled Sin Suyun away and explained to the man, "We are Mu Chichi's family. We are here to see her." "You are living with Mu Chichi. Don't you know her relationship with the Shin family?" Sin Suyun provoked him. "You are right. A bastard and a man are a match." The man listened for a long time before he understood what Sin Suyun was talking about. He was furious. He pointed at Sin Suyun and said, "Who are you? How can you talk nonsense without knowing the truth? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. Just let us in to see what's going on." Sin Suyun raised her eyebrows. "This is a private property. I don't know how you came in. I must confirm your identity first." The man pushed his glasses up. He looked at everyone with suspicion and anger. "What else is there to confirm? This is Mu Chichi's grandfather." Sin Suyun pointed at Grandpa Shen and said to the man, "The security guards let us in. What else do you have to suspect?" "Father, let's go in. It's better not to believe this man's words. Let me tell you, don't look down on Mu Chichi. She is living with a man at the age of 18. She is the most shameless person." Grandpa Shin's face was tense. He did not say a word. No matter how Sin Suyun tried to provoke him, he did not say a word. The rest of the Shin family did not say anything either. After all, they had not seen Mu Chichi yet. Sin Suyun seemed to be the one telling the story. "You can't go in." The man stretched his hand to stop Sin Suyun. But Sin Suyun pushed him away. "Go away." Then she went into the villa first. After that, Grandpa Shen and the others followed her into the villa. But what they saw was not a scene of a man and a woman living together. It was Mu Chichi and another girl of the same age. They were tutoring at home. When Mu Chichi saw the Shin family, she put down the notebook in her hand and stood up. "Grandpa, why are you here? They did not see anything unsightly between Mu Chichi and a man. Instead they saw Mu Chichi was studying hard. Shouldn't it be a scene of catching an adulterer? It was fine if it was not a scene of love. But there was not even the most common smell of life. Shen Lin immediately walked in front of Mu Chichi under Huang Yu's instruction. He said, "Someone is slandering you for living with a man. So all of us came here to watch a good show. Chichi, I'm going to walk around the villa now. I don't want some people to make a fuss about it." Mu Chichi's eyes darkened. But she nodded. "All right." Shen Lin moved quickly. He looked around the whole place. Then he went downstairs and told everyone, "There is nothing that belongs to a man." "Of course not. I'm their tutor." The man who was slandered immediately explained, "I come here on time every afternoon. It's not what you think. I'm going to sue you for slandering me." The tutor pointed at Sun Suyun and said loudly, "Well?" Sun Suyun was dumbfounded. She looked at Shin Rui. Chapter 235. Sun Suyun's palms were sweating when she saw that. Grandpa Sheng's face was tense. He sat on the sofa in the living room of the villa. "Chichi, tell me quickly. What is going on? Aren't you staying with your aunt in a small villa? Why do you have a house here? And you didn't tell me about it?" Mu Chichi listened to Huang Yu's question. She looked at Grandpa Sheng and explained to him, "This house belongs to my uncle. It's very close to Xingting University. It's convenient for me to go to school. If you don't believe me, you can check the ownership of this villa. Do I need to tell others about the things my uncle gave me?" "I didn't tell you because I don't think it's necessary. It's just a temporary place to stay. My uncle just let me stay here recently. Is there a need to make such a big fuss?" "I see. But someone has an ulterior motive. He thinks that you are living with a man." Huang Yu pointed at Sun Suyun with her chin. Mu Chichi looked at Sun Suyun coldly. "Third aunt, I'm not living with a man. You can go around the villa and see if you can find a man." Sun Suyun was stunned. "The person in front of you used to be a forensic doctor from the criminal police. He comes to teach me every day just so that I can master the practical knowledge of forensic science. Besides, there are also students from Xingting University who attend my lessons every day. What do you think I am? Why are you asking me? I'm not the one who said that you are living with a man. Someone sent a message to all of us." Sun Suyun started to act shamelessly. She did not want to admit that it was related to her. "Besides, everyone is just here to confirm it. It's great that you are innocent. Why are you still holding on to me? If that's the case, go back. It's just a false alarm." "Stop." Mu Chichi stopped Sun Suyun when she turned around. "Do you think that you can come and go as you please in someone else's house? What else do you want me to do?" Sun Suyun turned around and asked Mu Chichi. "I told you that it has nothing to do with me." "Nothing to do with you?" Mu Chichi sneered and stood up. "I don't think so. Since you think it's related to me, then show me the evidence." Sun Suyun did not plan to admit defeat at all. Even if she did not find anything, she had used someone else's phone number to send the message. She destroyed the phone number after that. Mu Chichi would not be able to find anything. "You're quite confident. Don't tell me that the Shin family's information was leaked by yourself. Who has privacy now? Isn't it easy for them to investigate our family?" Sun Suyun was not flustered at all. She was determined to deny everything. "I was wondering why you kept stalking my classmate for the past few days. I'm afraid it's because of what you did today, right?" Mu Chichi took out her phone and played the video. "Yesterday, the security guard at the door told me to be careful because someone was following me. He even showed me this video. I didn't know what the other party's purpose was, but, Grandpa, you came today. Whether it has nothing to do with you, third aunt, you can ask this classmate to confront her. Since you're here today, don't think that you can get out easily." Sun Suyun did not expect Mu Chichi to have a video. She quickly signaled Shinroi with her eyes. Shinroi stood up for Sun Suyun when she saw that. "Chichi, it's not that I want to scold you. Why didn't you investigate it earlier when you knew that someone was following you? Or are you doing this on purpose so that we will be kicked out of the Shin family? Is that what you're planning? Do you mean that I've written and directed this show just to target you and your daughter? Isn't that the case? Today, I finally know what it means to be the guilty party who accuses the victim first. I was tutoring at home when the Shin family indiscriminately barged in and said that I was living with a man. Grandfather, don't tell me that you want to believe that mother and daughter again?" Mu Chichi turned around and asked Grandpa Shin. "I told you that I noticed someone was following me, but I'm not sure what their purpose is. Did I purposely direct this show myself? Don't try to hurt yourself. You have to make Grandpa believe you every time. Since you can't show us any evidence, we can assume that you've planned all this. Shin Ruoi continued to attack. Mu Chichi opened her mouth and was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Chichi, I got the results of the surveillance around the villa. Come home tomorrow. Mu Chichi was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. And I'm in trouble now. Can you come over? Mu Chichi felt wronged. Okay. Su Zipei only said one word. Then she told Lu Wenhua, it seems that the Shin family is here. Chichi needs our help. Let's go. Let's go. Lu Wenhua took his coat and left with Su Zipei. On the other hand, Shin Chichi thought that Mu Chichi did not have any evidence because Tsun Suyun and her daughter were shameless enough to distort the truth. Dad, Mu Chichi is plotting against you. Why are you all so stupid? She's just putting on a show for you. Maybe she's just taking away the things of the men in the house and pretending to be studying to deceive you. Tsun Suyun was getting more and more serious as she talked. She did not want to let go of Mu Chichi. Dad, anyone can see that someone wants to frame Mu Chichi. But she failed. So, she's trying to frame Mu Chichi. If Chichi was not in class but doing something else and was really misunderstood, her scheme would have succeeded. If she did not succeed, she could then turn around and accuse Chichi of framing her and chasing her away. She would be in the right anyway. Would there still be any justice? Huang Yu could not help but speak out for justice. What? Huang Yu, you're on Mu Chichi's side. Of course you'll speak for her. But don't forget that Mu Chichi can even defeat Rong Junhan. Not to mention you. Tsun Suyun said to Huang Yu. This girl is very powerful. Dad, you should say something too. Huang Yu was worried. Shinlin. Grandpa Shin did not say anything else. He just asked Shinlin to bring the classmate to the villa according to the information provided by Mu Chichi. But Tsun Suyun stopped him. Dad, the classmate is also Mu Chichi's friend. What if Mu Chichi colluded with him to frame me? Tsun Suyun rolled her eyes. Chapter 236. Fine. Since you said that you are not slandering me, what will you say if I can show you the evidence that you and your daughter framed me? I will leave the Shin family now. I will not say a word. Tsun Suyun said confidently. You said it. Then Mu Chichi turned to Grandpa Shin. Please wait for me for 10 minutes. What if you slander us? Tsun Suyun was not stupid. Since Mu Chichi had made a request, they wanted to get something out of it. I will leave the Shin family from now on. I will never appear in the Shin family again. You said it too. The two of them confronted each other. None of them wanted to give in. It was because Tsun Suyun did not believe that Mu Chichi could show any evidence. Mu Chichi was just playing a psychological game. She was betting on whether Grandpa Shin would believe her. They sat in the living room and waited. Mu Chichi asked the tutor and her classmates to go home. But the tutor did not look good after being slandered. When he left, he still said that he wanted to sue Tsun Suyun. Tsun Suyun was not afraid. She wanted to sue Mu Chichi. Anyway, the most important thing was to win against Mu Chichi. There was nothing that could not be solved with money. Everyone waited in the house. 10 minutes passed. Another 10 minutes passed. However, the evidence did not come. Tsun Suyun laughed out loud this time. Mu Chichi, have you used up all your tricks? I have given you 20 minutes. You still can't show me anything. Shouldn't you keep your promise and never step into the Shin family? At this moment, Su Zipei and Lu Wenhua arrived at the villa. They had a complicated expression when they saw the Shin family. Chichi, what is going on? Aunt, I will tell you everything later. But now, tell me the result of the investigation. You told me that you were being followed yesterday. So, I went to check the surveillance cameras around the villa to see if I could find any clues. Then I found this. Su Zipei took out her phone and showed it to Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi passed the phone to Grandpa Shen after she finished reading it. This is the surveillance footage for 5 days. For the past 5 days, Tsun Suyun had been sneaking around outside the villa. It was a fact. Take a look for yourself. After Grandpa Shen finished reading it, he threw the phone to Tsun Suyun. Tsun Suyun's facial expression changed when she saw it. Don't tell me that Chichi was the one who arranged for you to stay in the villa. No, father. She's the one who framed me. Otherwise, why would she know to look for the surveillance camera? Tsun Suyun tried to argue. I don't know you at all. It was the villa's security who told Chichi that someone was following her yesterday. That's why I went to the villa's security to check the surveillance footage. I wanted to see if I could find any clues. Could it be that I can predict that something like this would happen tonight? Aren't you being too unreasonable? Furthermore, even now, I still don't know what exactly happened. Everyone in the Shin family saw how Tsun Suyun was waiting for them in the villa. I was wondering why you lured everyone here. So you went to check on Chi-Chi's absence from the villa for a few days. You think that Chi-Chi is living with a man just because you saw her going in and out with a man. Tsun Suyun, are you still going to deny it? Could it be that Chi-Chi ordered you to wait outside the villa to be filmed so that you could frame yourself? Tsun Suyun did not expect that Su Zipei would send her the surveillance footage. She thought that she would succeed this time. Tsun Suyun could not deny it when she saw the footage. It was because she was the only person in the footage. There was no one else. Continue to deny it. Grandpa Shin shouted. You and your daughter are in cahoots with each other. You're so despicable. How could you put on a show for the whole night? Tsun Suyun swallowed her saliva nervously. At this moment she could not explain herself anymore. Say it. You were so proud just now. Why can't you say anything now? Shin Rui could not hold it in anymore when she saw how fierce Grandpa Shin was. She ran to him and hugged his leg. Grandpa, please forgive us. We were forced to do this. Ever since Mu Chi-Chi came, you don't even care about me. I'm so sad. That's why I did this. However, Grandpa Shin was not moved at all. He lifted his leg and flung Shin Rui away. Get lost. Do you think that I will believe you now? Shin Rui did not expect that Grandpa Shin would have such a big reaction. She was flung away and rolled a few times. Then, her head hit the hard corner of the coffee table. Shin Rui screamed in pain. Her forehead was bruised and fresh blood was flowing out. Tsun Suyun hugged Shin Rui immediately when she saw that. My poor daughter. Someone please save my daughter. No one can save you tonight. This time, whether third brother divorces you or not, there's no place for you in the Shin family. This time you'd better get lost. Don't let me see you again. Grandpa Shin had made up his mind. This time he had made up his mind to get rid of the mother and daughter. Someone please save us. Shin Lin, when you get home, throw all the belongings of third brother and his family out of the Shin family. Also, everything in the Shin family, especially my will not have a single cent of you and your daughter. Don't even think about it in this lifetime. At that moment, Tsun Suyun could not hear anything, because she knew that she had failed. Mom, I'm in pain. So painful. Be good. Let's go and find your father. Let's go and find your father. Tsun Suyun got up from the ground. Then she carried Shin Rui and left the villa. It was because she was too ashamed to stay there. Grandpa Shin did not stop her. Anyway, it was a fact that the three of them had been kicked out of the Shin family. Suddenly the atmosphere became quiet. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shin worriedly. Is your body okay? I have to stand up for you no matter what. I can't collapse like that like the last time. Grandpa Shin patted Mu Chi-Chi's hand and said, Grandpa, that mother and daughter have only themselves to blame. Fortunately, Mrs. Liu came in time. Otherwise, that mother and daughter would have succeeded. Huang Yu could not help but get angry when she thought of the mother and daughter's faces. Dad, don't be angry. We are not aiming for the inheritance. We will take good care of you. Grandpa Shin nodded. It was a tiring night. Chi-Chi, I'm going home. You, calm down. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shin worriedly. Then she sent the Shin family to the villa. Su Zipei looked at Grandpa Shin leaving. Then she grabbed Mu Chi-Chi's hand. Let's go home. Aunt, did I lie to Grandpa? That mother and daughter had ill intentions, so they deserve to end up like this. You don't have to take it to heart. As for how the old man will react when he finds out about you in the future, you'll have to bear with it because this is your choice. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. I understand. It's a pity that I can't see their luggage being thrown out. Chapter 237. On the way back, the Shins did not say a word, especially Grandpa Shin. He seemed to have aged a lot. He was not as kind and humorous as he used to be. Too many things had happened recently and he was exhausted. Father, let me handle these things in the future. Since Shin Lin has not joined the army, let him accompany you fishing more often. Also, let Chi-Chi come here often. Grandpa Shin held Shin Lin's hand and nodded. You can't be missing anymore. I can't do anything about those two people. Don't worry, Grandpa. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll be a decent person in the future. Shin Lin told Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin was relieved. He went back to his room to rest after they returned to the Shin family. At the same time, Shin Lin threw third brother's family's belongings out of the Shin family's door. This time they would never be able to return to the Shin family. Third brother knew about it on his way home. He also knew about the ending of his family. It was a promise he made. So he had no choice but to leave the Shin family. It was all Tsun Suyun's fault. He did not want his luggage now. He needed to find a house for them first. Then he went to the hospital. Shinruoi's head was injured. She was bandaged now. Third brother sighed when he saw the mother and daughter hugging each other and crying bitterly. How could he blame others for his own death? Rong Junhan was defeated by Mu Qiqi. How dare you overestimate yourself? I've told you to keep a low profile. Look at what happened. It's only been a few days and you've caused trouble again. This time there will be no place for us in the Shin family's living room. The mother and daughter cried bitterly. At the same time, their hearts were filled with hatred. Shinruoi was hurt. She even swore in her heart that she would be outstanding one day. Then she would make the Shins regret for bullying them. She would do it. In the villa, Mu Qiqi was taking out Xiao Xiao's belongings from the warehouse one by one. She put them back in their original places. When Xing Xiao returned home from Huangyao, he saw Mu Qiqi was absent-minded. He pressed her against the wall and looked into her eyes. What? Are you unhappy that third brother and his family have left? Of course I'm happy, but I also feel that I'm too weak to admit our relationship in front of my grandfather. Mu Qiqi looked into Xing Xiao's eyes. That's why I have to hide your things. I can't let anyone find them. I think I hate myself for being like this. You are the crown prince of Huangyao. You are in love but you can't make it public. You have to accompany me in such a childish secret relationship. I like it. Xing Xiao lifted Mu Qiqi's chin and said with a teasing smile, whether it's in the open or in the dark, it's more interesting when I'm with you. The form doesn't matter. Xiao Xiao, all right, it's such a good day, don't say such depressing words. Or do you want me to punish you so that you'll shut up? Mu Qiqi immediately covered her mouth. I haven't showered yet. I'm covered in dust. Go wash up. I want to see you in bed in 10 minutes. Mu Qiqi covered her mouth and quickly moved away from Xing Xiao's arms, leaving Xing Xiao with the burden of tidying up the place. Since she's the little thing I like, I have to spoil her till the end. Grandpa Shin was the only one who felt bad that night. It was not because of Mu Qiqi. It was because of his daughter-in-law and granddaughter. So, his daughter-in-law and granddaughter were such evil people. Did he not teach them well enough? Grandpa Shin sighed when he thought of that. And early the next morning he called Xing Xiao. When are you free? Have some tea with Grandpa Shin. Xing Xiao was holding Mu Qiqi in his arms. His eyes darkened when he heard that. Tomorrow. Then Grandpa Shin prepare the tea. Be punctual. Mu Qiqi seemed to hear her grandfather's voice. She quickly sat up from the bed. Xing Xiao told her, your grandfather is still suspicious. He's still suspicious. So he asked me to test it out. Then that's not something you should worry about. Go wash up. I'll send you to school. Xing Xiao did not want to put the pressure on his little one. So he slapped her but early in the morning. Mu Qiqi pouted and got off the bed. Suddenly she had an impulse. When she saw Xing Xiao following her into the bathroom, she stopped brushing her teeth and said, why don't we tell him? I have my own plans. Xing Xiao told Mu Qiqi. Then how will you answer Grandpa? Actually, Grandpa Shen had been suspicious. It meant that he was mentally prepared. So, it was better to see how Grandpa Shen would react before speaking. Perhaps to stop Mu Qiqi from asking any more questions, Xing Xiao picked her up and put her on the sink. Then he took away her toothbrush. Xiao Xiao, I'll press you every time you ask. Let's see how much energy you have. Could Mu Qiqi say that she regretted it? It was early in the morning. She had to wear a scarf to class. Otherwise the marks would be seen. He was such an annoying man. The departure of Cin Suyun and her daughter did not affect the lives of the Shen family much. But Huang Yu was more filial to Grandpa Shen now. Because she knew that when Grandpa Shen calmed down, he would definitely miss Shen Ruoi. At the very least, she was his granddaughter who grew up in the Shen family. He still had feelings for her. So she asked Shen Lin to stay with Grandpa Shen. Grandpa asked Uncle Sheng to meet him. Do you know why? Huang Yu shook her head when she heard Shen Lin's question. I don't know. Maybe he has something to discuss with him. On the other hand, Lin Mu passed by the martial arts club where Lu Qianshan worked out in the morning. Suddenly he thought of the time when he was with Lu Qianshan. This little pepper was really annoying. She said that she would not contact him anymore. Thinking of this, Lin Mu said to the driver, stop the car here. I want to go out and have a look. The driver nodded and stopped the car by the roadside. Lin Mu could not help but go to the martial arts club. Then he saw Lu Qianshan practicing punching sandbags in the club. This damned woman was really ruthless. Since you don't contact me, you should not come to this martial arts club. Lin Mu, and could not help but walk to Lu Qianqian. He crossed his arms and leaned against her sandbag. Do you really mind what others say about you? Don't you care? Lu Qianqian glanced at him. Of course she was panting because she was punching sandbags. I don't care, I care. Lu Qianqian pushed him away. You are blocking my practice. I will continue to be your training partner. Bastard, I'm already avoiding you. Can't you see it? Lu Qianqian said angrily. We are not on the same path. Moreover, don't come here anymore. Is this your family's club? You are right. This martial arts club is indeed owned by my family. Chapter 238. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for being with a second-hand woman? Lu Qianqian stopped and looked at Lin Mu, and with sweat all over her face. Perhaps, deep down in her heart she wanted to have a friend too. But, if the friend was different from Mu Qiqi, she might be defeated by the rumors at any time. She could be crushed by rumors at any time, so she would only increase the burden on each other by making friends with such a person. Lin Mu, and looked at Lu Qianqian and said nothing. If that's the case, don't embarrass us. Don't come here anymore. Then Lu Qianqian turned around and left. But Lin Mu, and did not chase after her. Because he was not prepared for it. He never thought that he would have to risk offending his family just to make a friend. Lu Qianqian's decision was the right one. Since he could not stand other people's opinions, he should stop as soon as possible. But Lin Mu, and felt uncomfortable. Since he had deleted someone else's number, he should be more decisive. He would be looked down upon by others if he was so wishy-washy. Lu Qianqian hid behind him and watched Lin Mu, and leave the martial arts club. Then she told the receptionist, if this man comes again, refund him all his fees. Ask him to find another place to train. Yes, Mississippi, the receptionist agreed with Lu Qianqian. Because the martial arts club belonged to the Lu family. On the other hand, Sun Suyun and her family finally felt that they had nothing after leaving the Shin family. With Shin Qianqian's current status, although they were not poor, their life was totally different from when they were in the Shin family. They did not save much money in the past because of their extravagant spending. Now, when they needed to use their money, they realized that their pockets were empty. Shin Rui had changed from the eldest daughter of the Shin family to the daughter of an ordinary family. She did not have a good life anymore. It would not be easy for her to go abroad anymore. Shin Rui was not satisfied when she thought about it. She must find a rich husband so that everyone in the Shin family would look at her differently. Stop daydreaming. With our current status, how could the young masters of those clans still take a liking to you? Unless you want to be their mistress. Sun Suyun's words had awakened Shin Rui. She was right. As a mistress, she could do whatever she wanted with the help of those men. She was still so young. She couldn't lift her hands or carry a load. She needed a man to dote on her. Of course, Shin Laosan and Sun Suyun did not know what their daughter was thinking. They did not know that she had gone crazy from wanting to take revenge on Mu Qiqi. In fact, Mu Qiqi was distracted in school for the whole day. Grandpa Shin had invited Xiao Xiao for tea. She did not know what Xiao Xiao was planning. She also did not know what Grandpa Shin had discovered. She wished that she could grow to 20 years old in one night. That way she could share Xiao Xiao's burden and not let him carry everything. It was obvious that she was the one who had expressed her love first. But now it seemed that Xiao Xiao was the one who had to deal with it, be it hiding it or making it public. She hated herself for being like this. Her lover was her own, but when faced with the obstruction of the outside world, she was powerless. Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianqian because she needed someone to support her. Lu Qianqian did not know what to do after hearing about her predicament. Qiqi, you see my situation now. I'm being mocked by others. If I were you, I would not be willing to make it public. Although I know that you are brave, you should know that gossip is a fearful thing. You might drown in their saliva. Listen to me. Leave everything to the crown prince. Don't be the one who makes it public. Mu Qiqi did not answer Lu Qianqian after listening to her. But there was a clear voice in her heart reminding her that she had made her choice. No matter how difficult it was, she should overcome it. So what was she worried about? With such courage, Mu Qiqi hung up the phone in a hurry. She let go of the burden in her heart. No matter what happened, she was prepared to face it together with Sheng Xiao. If that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? That night, Sheng Xiao could feel that Mu Qiqi was in a good mood. So, he purposely pressed her on the desk when she was writing her report. Seeing that you are so happy, I can't help but want some dessert. There's some in the fridge. I'll get it for you, you're my dessert. With that, Sheng Xiao pushed her blouse up and smiled playfully. Mu Chichi was stunned. Then she struggled. Xiao Xiao. I haven't written my report yet. Why do you need to write a report when you have me? With that, Xing Xiao threw Mu Chichi's report in the middle of the study. Then he took off his shirt and pressed her down. Mu Chichi wanted to say something. But her mouth was sealed by his kiss. She did not have the chance to speak. They kissed passionately. Then they began to make love in the study. At the critical moment, Xing Xiao stopped. He deliberately hooked Mu Chichi's chin and asked, "Do you still want me to stop?" Mu Chichi took the chance and bit his shoulder. "You are the worst. You are teasing me. Do you want it?" "No." Mu Chichi hugged his neck and answered embarrassedly. Xing Xiao picked Mu Chichi up. But the two of them were joined together. Step by step he brought the little one back to the bedroom. Because tonight the little one would not have any freedom. The moment Mu Chichi was put on the big bed, a thought flashed through her mind. It's over. I will definitely fail my subjects after the semester ends. Who asked her to resist the temptation of Xing Xiao's charming body? But the next morning when she woke up, she saw the report Xing Xiao had written for her on the bedside table. Go to school by yourself. I'm going to the Shen family. Mu Chichi looked at the report Xing Xiao had written. She could not help but mutter. Was there anything this man could not do? A man who graduated from science and engineering was even more professional than a medical student like her. But when she thought about Xing Xiao going to the Shen family, she could not help but feel nervous. She did not know what Grandpa would say to this man. Early in the morning, Grandpa Shen had prepared the best tea in the Shen family's fish pond. He had also put the fishing rod in place. He was waiting for Xing Xiao to come and answer the questions in his heart. Xing Xiao arrived at the Shen family at 8 o'clock sharp. He walked past the Shen family's side courtyard and went straight to the place where Grandpa Shen was resting. He sat down on the chair he had prepared for him. Grandpa Shen poured a cup of tea for Xing Xiao and put it in front of him. It's rare that you can take the time to meet me, the Crown Prince of Huang Yao. Chapter 239. Who owned the villa near Xingting University before it was transferred to Lu Wenhua? Grandpa Shen went straight to the point and asked Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao finished his tea and put down the teacup. He stopped smiling and answered Grandpa Shen directly, "It's mine." "Did you already know that third brother and his family wanted to frame Chichi?" "Yes, I did." Xing Xiao answered honestly. "Chichi moved into that villa a long time ago. Can you tell me the exact time?" "August." Grandpa Shen's hands started to tremble. He realized that Xing Xiao did not come here just to brush him off. He answered every question very seriously. "Then did you, also, that is Mayan Chier's home?" Xing Xiao answered the question that Grandpa Shen wanted to ask the most. Grandpa Shen dropped the teacup on the floor when he heard that. He put his hands on the table and closed his eyes tightly. Xiao Qi and I were together before her identity was exposed. What else do you want to ask? Grandpa Shen did not ask anything. He flipped the table. It was so loud that the servants of the Shen family and Shenlin were alerted. You are her uncle. You are one generation older than her. She is only 18 years old. How could you, just... Xing Xiao, I've always thought that you're the one with the most sense of propriety. You look unruly on the surface but you would never do such a thing. But now I'm really disappointed. Aren't you ruining Chi-Chi's reputation by being together with her? Do you want her to be laughed at like Lu Qianqian? Grandpa Shen was very agitated. But Xing Xiao was very calm. Even though he could not drink the tea anymore, he still answered Grandpa Shen clearly, I want to marry her. You? What do you have to marry her? Will the Sheng family acknowledge her identity? You know very well what I have to marry Chi-Chi. I have never thought of hiding it from anyone. It's just that Chi-Chi did not want to make it public. That's why I did not tell anyone about it. It's not because I am afraid of the Sheng family or the Shen family. Old Shen, you should know very well that no one can stop me from doing what I want to do. I can't accept it. How can I accept it? Grandpa Shen kept shaking his head. When I entered the house 2 nights ago, although there was nothing of yours, I could feel that Chi-Chi was not the only one living in that house. I became suspicious, so I went to investigate the house and found out that it had just been transferred. I should have known. I should have admitted it long ago, but the more afraid I am, the more you will deal me a fatal blow. 8th brother, I can't face you in the future. Grandpa Shen looked at Xing Xiao's red eyes. He was not just angry. He felt humiliated and broke down. His 2 granddaughters. 2 of them. It doesn't matter. I'll still marry her. Grandpa Shen was ashamed and angry. But when Xing Xiao left, the Shen family was in an uproar, especially Huang Yu. When she found out about this, she was so shocked that she could not recover from it for a long time. Therefore, since Grandpa Shen entered the study room and announced that he would not see anyone, Huang Yu pestered Shenlin and asked, "What else did you hear?" "Uncle Sheng said that he wants to marry Qiqi." "Oh my god, Mu Qiqi is too daring." Huang Yu covered her mouth. "But as far as I know, they were together before Qiqi's identity was exposed," Shenlin said to Huang Yu. "So, they might not have thought that such a situation would happen. They kept it a secret until now because they were afraid that Grandpa would be sad. I know Qiqi's temper. If she had a better way she would not do this. But she is only 18 years old and she is already married to Xing Xiao. Moreover, she is from the Sheng family. Moreover, they are from the same generation. Do you think it's strange that your grandpa would agree to it so easily?" Huang Yu sighed. "I think so too. I'm afraid that Grandpa will never be able to accept it. Since Suyun's family must have never thought that Xing Xiao is Xiao Qi's. Shen Rui has been thinking about it for a long time." Huang Yu glanced at Grandpa Shen's room. Then she told Shenlin, "You should take care of your grandpa these few days. Don't let him be angry. As for the rest, we can't help Qiqi." "I know, Mom. Qiqi has really planted a super bomb in the Shen family. But you don't object to it, don't you?" Shenlin did not hear that Huang Yu was blaming Mu Qiqi from her tone. "Why should I object to it? Shen Rui is delusional. But Qiqi and Xing Xiao are in love with each other. How can it be the same? Moreover, although they are not the same generation, they are not related by blood. Other than your grandpa, who else in the family would really care about the generation? Most importantly, I understand Qiqi. When she was at her wit's end, it was Xing Xiao who held her back. I'm not surprised that she likes Xing Xiao because of this relationship. Otherwise, why would she tattoo his name on her ear?" Shenlin nodded. "When it came to love, wasn't it all about being willing to do anything? He treated Yu Jing like that in the past. Now, wasn't Mu Qiqi the same as him?" Soon, Mu Qiqi found out from Xing Xiao that Grandpa Shen had exposed their relationship. So she was restless. She called Huang Yu immediately. "Your grandpa locked himself in the study for the whole day. He did not eat or drink. It seems that he is really angry. No one in the Shen family dares to persuade him. You know your grandpa's temper. Xiaoqi, this matter has really blown your grandpa's mind. He loves you so much and trusts you. He must be very sad now. But second aunt doesn't think that you did anything wrong. Who can say who is right or wrong in this kind of thing?" "Thank you, second aunt. I'll come and see Grandpa later," said Mu Qiqi to Huang Yu. "Okay. But you must be prepared. Grandpa might not let you go so easily. He might even force you to make a decision." "I know." The matter had been exposed. What good would it do to say more? She was not afraid. She was just worried about Grandpa's health. That was all. So, during the lunch break, Mu Qiqi went to the hospital to visit Xin Jianchuan. When Xin Jianchuan saw her, he could guess what happened. "Did Grandpa find out?" Mu Qiqi nodded. "Yes." Chapter 240. How could she not care? "If it's the Mu family, I really don't care. But I care about you and Grandpa." Mu Qiqi held Xin Jianchuan's hand and said, "But Dad, I can't lose Xiao Xiao no matter what. He is my life." Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red when she said that. "Maybe you think that I'm exaggerating. I'm just an 18-year-old kid." She said that because she's young and naive. "However, I know better than any of you what kind of place he holds in my heart. Even if I'm struck by lightning in the future, I will accept it. Dad will always be on your side. Xiaoqi, be brave." Xin Jianchuan held Mu Qiqi's hand. It was the only thing he could do for Mu Qiqi. That was to cheer for her. When Mu Qiqi left, he asked the nurse who was standing beside him, "Can I leave the hospital?" "How can you leave the hospital? What if it's just for a while?" The nurse thought for a while and said, "I'll think of a way for you." Because he knew Grandpa Shen's temper very well. Mu Qiqi would definitely be wronged. So, it was time for him to perform as a father. Mu Qiqi did not tell Xing Xiao that she was going to the Shen family. But, according to Xing Xiao's understanding of her, she drove straight to the Shen family after she left Huang Yao. At that moment, Mu Qiqi was kneeling outside Grandpa Shen's study. Huang Yu and the others stood aside helplessly. After a while, Grandpa Shen finally opened the door. He looked at Mu Qiqi coldly and said, "Follow me." They arrived at the ancestral hall of the Shen family one after another. Mu Qiqi only knew that there was an ancestral hall in the Shen family. "Tell me in front of all the ancestors." Did you and Xing Xiao lie to me from the beginning? Grandpa, apart from my relationship with Xiao Xiao, we didn't lie to you about anything. Grandpa Shin took out the wooden stick that he used to hit Shinrui the other day. He pointed it at Mu Chichi. Do you know how proud I am to see you? I love you so much. I want to give you the whole Shin family. But what about you? Not only did you live with a man at the age of 18, he's also a member of the Sheng family. He's your uncle. How am I supposed to accept this, girl? Since you've come back today and you're here in front of all the ancestors, tell me, do you want Xing Xiao or me, your grandfather? I really can't live with Xing Xiao awkwardly anymore. I've let the Sheng family down. So give me an answer. Give me a choice. Do you want Xing Xiao or grandfather? Tell me. If you choose grandpa, then cut off all ties with Xing Xiao. From now on, we will never mention this matter again. I will pretend that nothing happened. But if you choose Xing Xiao, then the Shin family will pretend that you never appeared. I will pretend that I don't have a granddaughter like you. Mu Chichi looked at Grandpa Shin with a firm and unquestionable gaze. I choose Xing Xiao. Hearing this, Grandpa Shin was shocked and hit her with a stick. You don't even think about it? Do you really want to marry into the Sheng family that much? Mu Chichi was secretly hurt, but she did not change her answer. I choose Xing Xiao. Grandpa, I can do anything for you except leaving Xing Xiao. If you still care about your granddaughter's life, don't force me to choose. Because Xing Xiao is my life. You don't know how much a desperate girl loves and appreciates that person when she's saved. He saved my life. He gave me my life. Everything I have, including the fact that I can kneel here now, is because I have Xing Xiao. He's very important to me. He's more important than myself. Grandpa Shin hit Mu Chichi again when he heard this. He was anxious. You're so stubborn. Grandpa, this is it. I'll follow Xing Xiao for the rest of my life. Whether you agree or not, this is my answer. My saliva can drown you. I'm not afraid of anything. Mu Chichi replied with tears in her eyes. If that's the case, you must be like Shinrui. Get out of the Shin family. The further the better. I'll pretend that I don't have you as my granddaughter. Even if you're attacked by the Xing family in the future, I won't acknowledge you as my granddaughter. After Mu Chichi heard this, she kowtowed to Grandpa Shin 3 times. Grandpa, please take care of yourself. Grandpa Shin did not expect that Mu Chichi would make such a decision without any hesitation. He felt sad and angry at the same time. Mu Chichi was already a part of the Shin family. How could he get rid of her? If this matter were to spread and the Sheng family came looking for Mu Chichi, would he be able to deny it? How could he say that Mu Chichi was not a member of the Shin family? Who would believe that? But it was worse than death for him to accept it. My Chichi, Mu Chichi's steps were firm. She had to do it without any hesitation. She must give Grandpa Shin the most accurate answer about Xing Xiao. She would not compromise at all. She could do anything for Grandpa Shin. But she would not give in to Xing Xiao. Chichi. Huang Yu quickly helped her when she saw her. Are you all right? Grandpa, please take care of me. Mu Chichi said to Huang Yu. Just take it that I'm not filial. After that, Mu Chichi was about to walk out of the Shin family. But Grandpa Shin shouted at her from behind. Come back, you wicked girl. I'll give you time to break up with Xing Xiao slowly. I won't force you, Grandpa, you're forcing me. Mu Chichi turned around and said to Grandpa Shin, because I won't break up with him. I've already given in. What else do you want me to do? Obviously, Grandpa Shin did not want to lose his granddaughter. But he could not accept the fact that his nephew had become his grandson-in-law. At the same time, Xing Zhao's car had entered the Shin family's courtyard. He saw Mu Chichi and the others at the entrance of the living room. He went straight to them. His face darkened when he saw Mu Chichi holding her shoulder. Did you get beaten? Mu Chichi shook her head. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chichi. Then he looked up at Grandpa Shen and said, Uncle Shen, I've been raising her since she was 17 to 19. I have custody of her too. I want her to be my wife. None of you can stop me. Xiao Xiao, lawless? Grandpa Xing snorted coldly at Xing Xiao after hearing that. Chapter 241. Grandpa Shin did not say anything. At that moment, a white car drove into the parking lot of the Shin family. Everyone looked at it and realized that it was a nurse who accompanied Shin Jianchuan back to the Shin family. Grandpa Shin's hands began to tremble when he saw it. Why are you back? I'm afraid that you'll make things difficult for Xiao Qi, Shin Jianchuan replied. Even you, father, you could accept me when I was so rebellious back then. Can't you accept my daughter now? Shin Jianchuan asked Grandpa Shin. Don't you think that Mu Qiqi is very similar to me because of her? You're a man and she's a girl. Do you know what people will say about her when she's only 18? Whether she can marry into the Xing family or not, her reputation will not be good in the future. Grandpa Shin pointed at Mu Qiqi and said loudly, "Am I doing it for myself? I'm already half buried in the ground. Why should I care about that? I just don't want her life to be as rough as yours." Grandpa Shin's eyes turned red as he said that. "Father, you know how capable Xing Xiao is. He saved Mu Qiqi and raised her. Now he wants to marry Mu Qiqi. He has already given his all to your granddaughter. Other than him, no one else can take care of your granddaughter so well and spoil her to the point that she is out of control. Reputation is nothing. We live our lives for ourselves. Who will remember who is who after 100 years? Shin Jianchuan held Grandpa Shin's hand and said, "You just spoil them. Since it's happened, they have to accept it. Now they love each other so much that they won't break up even if you talk to them until your saliva dries up. Do you still remember me back then? If they're really not fated, they'll break up sooner or later. When that time comes, even if Mu Qiqi's reputation is bad, she can bear it herself. She's an adult. As for the Shin family, I'm innocent. Grandpa Shin has lived his life with integrity." Grandpa Shin said disdainfully. Hearing this, Shin Jianchuan smiled. "If that's the case, why are you still stopping the children? An uncle and a niece." When Grandpa Shin thought of those two titles, he felt extremely uncomfortable. He could not accept it no matter what. But he was also afraid of losing Mu Qiqi and Shin Jianchuan. It was because of him that Shin Jianchuan was framed by Rong Junhan and was bedridden for half of his life. Now, could he still hurt his granddaughter? At most, I will pretend that nothing happened. Don't show your relationship in front of me. No matter what happens in the future, you will bear the consequences yourself." With that, the old man turned around and returned to his room. No matter what, he could not swallow this grievance. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi walked to Shin Jianchuan and squatted beside him. "Why did you come out of the hospital?" "Because your grandfather listens to me the most," Shin Jianchuan said to his daughter. Mu Qiqi giggled, but there were tears in her eyes. "Daddy, silly daughter, you have had a hard life since you were young. I have never taken care of you. Now, no matter what happiness you want, I will help you get it. Leave your grandfather to me. You go to Xing Xiao's place." Xing Xiao looked at the father and daughter. Then he walked to Shin Jianchuan and said calmly, "I believe that I am still the person who treats Qi'er the best. It's easy to get past the Shin family. But what about the Sheng family?" Shin Jianchuan looked at Xing Xiao meaningfully. "My daughter will not be bullied in the Shin family. But if she goes to the Sheng family and is humiliated and looked down upon, I will not let her stay with you no matter what. I accept your challenge. Let's see if she will be happy in the Shin family or the Sheng family." Shin Jianchuan did not say anything else. He wanted to give Mu Qiqi's hand to Xing Xiao. But he could not do it. Xing Xiao understood at once. He took Mu Qiqi's hand from Shin Jianchuan's hand. "Let's go. Let's go home. I will talk to your grandfather tonight. As for the Sheng family, you must give us an answer as soon as possible, Xing Xiao. I cannot let my daughter follow you without knowing why." Xing Xiao did not say anything. But his steps were firm. Because he had taken his daughter away from Mu Qiqi's father. It was a promise between men. That night, everyone in the Shin family had complicated feelings. Although Grandpa Shin did not agree to it, he did not object either. After that, Shin Jianchuan followed Grandpa Shin into his study. Grandpa Shin was still sulking. He did not want to talk to his son. "It's been so many years since I entered your study." Hearing this, the old man couldn't get angry anymore. He sighed deeply. "Do you blame me?" Shin Jianchuan shook his head. "I don't blame you for what happened to me. But if you continue to stop Mu Qiqi from being with Xing Xiao, I might blame you. They are not related by blood. Mu Qiqi is already an adult. Why can't she be with Xing Xiao? Is my daughter trying to climb the social ladder just because she is with the strongest man? Why can't my daughter be with the crown prince? So, how many men these days are devoted to one woman? Especially with Xing Xiao's background. I'm afraid that he is just playing with Mu Qiqi. What will happen to Mu Qiqi then?" "What do you mean? Qiqi is also the daughter of the Shin family. When she was with Xing Xiao, she also enjoyed a beautiful love. If they really break up one day, then Qiqi will still be a member of the Shin family. She is my daughter. Even if I am disabled, I can still let her live with dignity. Do you believe me?" "That's right." Grandpa Shin was gradually convinced by his son. What else could he do now? Let's see what the Sheng family thinks. "Do we even need to think about it?" Shin Jianchuan said. He knew that the Sheng family would not agree even if he tried to guess with his toes. But it was not something they could handle. Whether Xing Xiao was sincere to Mu Qiqi or not depended on what he did. With Xing Xiao's ability, as long as he is sincere, Mu Qiqi will not be bullied no matter where she is. The Sheng family is not to be trifled with. Grandpa Shen snorted. Moreover, how many people are there in the Xing family? There are so many people eyeing the position of the crown prince's wife. How can they let Xiaoqi have it? Isn't your granddaughter a little smart? At that moment, Xing Xiao was bringing Mu Qiqi home. On the way, Mu Qiqi was shocked by what Xing Xiao said. Marriage? Are you serious? Why? You don't want to marry me? Xing Xiao smiled. His eyes were filled with love for his little one. I am not old enough to register. Chapter 242. But, Xiao, I'm not prepared at all. Mu Qiqi panicked. We weren't mentally prepared when your grandfather found out. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi and smiled. What? Are you scared? I'm scared. I'm scared that you would fall out with your family. They would fall out no matter who my wife is. It doesn't make a difference. With that, Xing Xiao led Mu Qiqi to the villa that Mama Sheng had prepared for him. Jing Yun was startled by what he did. Young master, let's sleep here tonight. Xing Xiao said to Jing Yun, tugging at Mu Qiqi's hand. Mu Qiqi could tell that Jing Yun was worried and quickly said, There's nothing for me here and Jing Yun needs to rest. Why don't we go home? Come into my room to take a shower and put on my clothes. Xing Xiao pushed her into his room. But Xiao, before Mu Qiqi could finish, Xing Xiao had already closed the door for her. Jing Yun could guess most of it at that. Young master, are you going to go public? But Miss Mu Qiqi is not even 19. Are the odds good? It's precisely because the odds are not good that I need you and the Shen family to work together. Xing Xiao said to him. From today onwards you can go back to your own home. While you're at it, help me do something important. Yes, young master. Tell my mother that you saw Chi'er in the villa. Jing Yun's eyes widened at that. Are you going to be so direct? Do as I say and spread the story that I went to the Shen family to cause trouble, saying that I snatched Chi'er from the old man, and he was so angry that he was almost hospitalized. Jing Yun nodded at his orders. I understand. I'll do it right away. Xing Xiao was putting everything on his shoulders so that the Sheng family would think that Mu Qiqi was forced by him, and the Shen family was forced by his tyranny. It was only then that the Sheng family would not pay attention to Xiao Chi'er. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was taking a shower in her room. She needed to calm down too. Although she had already decided on Xing Xiao, she was afraid that what would happen next would reach a point she could not bear. She was afraid that she would hurt Xing Xiao and the Sheng family. After a while, Xing Xiao returned to the bedroom and entered the bathroom. He saw Mu Qiqi standing under the shower in a daze. He grabbed her neck and pulled her in front of him. From today onwards, cooperate with me and act. What? I want Xiao Chi'er to be my rightful wife. With that, Xing Xiao kissed her. She could not resist him at all. Very soon, the bathroom was filled with obscene sounds. However, their entwined bodies were obscured by the dense mist. In their passion, Xing Xiao held her slender waist and told her over and over again, I want you, I only want you. Mu Qiqi was driven by her own desires. How could she not be wholeheartedly devoted to Xing Xiao? Since Xing Xiao had said such words, what reason did she have not to support her man and drag him down with her negative emotions? I just want to be with you forever. Soon, Mu Qiqi fell asleep out of exhaustion, just as the sound of a car parking came from downstairs. Xing Xiao covered Mu Qiqi with a blanket and went downstairs, because he knew that his mother was coming for him. Mama Xing rushed to the villa. She knew what he had done when she saw Xing Zhao's bare upper body and the scratches from his nails. She did not notice the tattoo on Xing Zhao's body. She was just shocked to see him like that. This was the first time she, as a mother, saw her son's needs in this area. Jing Yun told me, it's all true. Xing Xiao went downstairs and poured his mother a glass of wine. Where's Xiao Qi? I'm sleeping in my room. Xing Xiao answered directly. Mama Sheng could not take it anymore. She went up to Xing Xiao and gave him a slap. Do you know what you are doing? You have Mu Qiqi. She is only 19 years old. She is old Shen's precious granddaughter. How can you go to the Shen family and make a scene? How can I face the Shen family in the future? Xing Xiao was not angry because of the slap. He smiled. There was a hint of a devil in his smile. Mom, don't you always know what I am like? I can get whatever I want and whoever I want. I never ask if they are willing or not. Since Xiaoqi is grateful to me, why can't she be my woman? Mama Sheng was very angry. What did you do to Xiaoqi? What can I do? Isn't it just a matter between a man and a woman? She is still so young. She is an adult now. Xing Xiao emphasized. I could have kept it a secret. But Uncle Shin found out about it. I can't let Xiaoqi run away. So, I could only go to the Shin family and make a scene. You. Mama Xing did not know what to do with her son. She took a deep breath. Can't you use proper means to pursue someone you like? Must you be so despicable? I like her. Do I have the right to like someone else in the Xing family? I do like Chier. But will you let me marry her? If that's the case, I might as well use force. Mom, instead of standing here, why don't you think about how to make it up to the Shen family? Anyway, I have done what I did. Mama Sheng was frightened by her son. Although Xing Xiao had shown his devilish side in the past few years, he had never treated people like he did now. Sure enough, it was a fool's dream to let him live a normal life. I'll go up and see Mu Chichi. Go ahead. Xing Xiao pointed at the second floor. But Mom Chier is mine. If you have any ideas about her, I will announce to the world that I have taken the girl I adopted as my own. Mama Sheng could not say anything. She went upstairs and gently opened the door. She had mixed feelings when she saw Mu Chichi sleeping in the bedroom. Especially when she saw the marks on Mu Chichi's body. She was such a good girl. But her son treated her like that. Mama Sheng did not say anything at that thought. But before she left, she said to Xing Xiao, you have to take responsibility for this. Mu Chichi cannot be toyed with by you. How do you want me to take responsibility? Marry her? Will Dad agree? Dream on. You don't have to worry about that. But you have to take good care of Mu Chichi. Only then can I answer to the Shin family. Of course I will take good care of her. But Mom, are you sure you can convince Dad and Grandpa? In their eyes, I am just toying with a woman. Chapter 243. Mama Sheng left the villa quickly. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that her son was a complete demon. Xing Xiao knew that his mother had successfully misunderstood him. So he returned to the bedroom and held Xiaoqier in his arms. Then he kissed her forehead gently. I must love you so much that I went crazy. That's why I did that. Mu Chichi was sleeping. She did not know that she was already a daughter-in-law in Mama Sheng's heart. She did not care if she was 18 or 19 years old. She was born in the Mu family. She was really afraid of her son now. So, Mama Sheng quickly returned home and told her husband about it. It's all because of the Xing family's bias. That brat doesn't walk the path of a normal person at all. Now he has bullied a child of the Shin family. Who else would want to marry him in the future? The Shin family did not cause trouble today because they are friends with the Xing family for many years. But we can't pretend that it never happened. She is just a woman. Why are you making such a fuss? Papa Sheng glared at his wife. Don't you know your son? The more outrageous the thing is, the more he would do it. Do you still want him to be a normal person? What else can I do? How old is the child? Papa Sheng suddenly asked Mama Sheng. 19 soon. Then let's arrange for them to get engaged. We'll talk about the future later. This way whatever Xing Xiao wants to do will be justified. And the Shin family will have an explanation. Papa Sheng told Mama Sheng why he was so generous. First, it was because the Shin family was a famous family. Their granddaughter was taken away by Xing Xiao. Of course the Shin family would not let it go. Secondly, Papa Sheng did not think that Xing Xiao's love for Mu Chichi would last long. The engagement was just a temporary measure. When the young man got tired of it, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. And he knew his son very well. He would never stay by someone's side until he was old. When that happens, the Shin family could not say anything even if they were fated to be together. So he proposed to let Xing Xiao and Mu Chichi get engaged. Old Shin hates seniority the most. According to seniority, Xing Xiao is Chichi's uncle. I still need to spend some time to convince the old man. I'll explain it to Dad, but to the public, just tell them that I'm engaged to the daughter of the Shin family. We can't expose their adoptive relationship. I knew this bastard wouldn't do anything good. After listening to her husband, Mama Sheng sighed. I really like Mu Chichi. I'll treat her better when they get engaged. I really don't know how sad Mu Chichi was when she was bullied by Xing Xiao. Mama Sheng sighed. That was why Jing Yun received news the next morning that the CEO and Madam had informed the chairman of the Xing family about it. And when the chairman learned about it, he immediately ordered Xing Xiao to get engaged to the daughter of the Shin family as soon as possible. although he had never seen this granddaughter-in-law before. Even so, what Xing Xiao did was so out of line that the Shen family dared to cause trouble. She even went to fight with Grandpa Shen for him. If the Sheng family did not say anything, their relationship with the Shen family would be over. Moreover, Papa Sheng told Grandpa Sheng that the girl was still young. When she grew up and Xing Xiao was no longer obsessed with her, they could just separate. It was just an engagement. It would not involve her becoming a member of the Sheng family. So, Grandpa Sheng agreed to it. He could not let the ugly things that his grandson had done spread like wildfire. Now he had to find a name for him. So, Mama Sheng came to the Shen family with a gift in the morning. Grandpa Shen thought that he could not face the Sheng family at first. But when Mama Sheng spoke, he was shocked. "Old Shen, it's the Sheng family that let you down." "What do you mean?" "That brat of mine took Mu Chichi by force and even caused a ruckus in the Shen family. He really put the Sheng family to shame. So, my father immediately asked me to come here to propose marriage to you. Let the two children get engaged. When Mu Chichi is 7 years old, let them get married." Mama Sheng said to Grandpa Shen embarrassedly. Grandpa Shen glanced at Huang Yu subconsciously after he heard what she said. What did Xing Xiao do? But there is a gap in seniority between them. "Old Shen, can you put aside your seniority now? I know you're not happy about it, but since it's already happened, we can only accept it. I feel sorry for Chi-Chi. Since it's fate between the two of them, let's see if you can fulfill it." Grandpa Shen was surprised. Why would the Sheng family come to propose marriage? At that moment, Shen Jianchuan was pushed out of the room by the nurse. He saw Mama Sheng. "I don't agree to it. My daughter is the daughter of the Shen family. She is the daughter of the Shen family. If she is taken away by the Sheng family so easily, won't she be bullied by the Sheng family?" Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan had come home. She could imagine how fierce Xing Zhao's trouble was yesterday. She quickly answered, "Don't worry. I will treat Chi-Chi like my own daughter after she joins the Sheng family." "I'm curious. Why did the Sheng family come to propose marriage? It's fine if Xing Xiao plays around with women, but it suits his status. I don't have to marry him. Young master, don't worry. Chi-Chi is the daughter of the Shen family. I will treat her the same way you treat her. You don't have to worry." Shen Jianchuan snorted coldly. He did not say anything else. If he did not make things difficult for the Sheng family, they might think that his daughter could not get married. So he was supporting Mu Chi-Chi. When Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan did not say anything, she looked at Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and waved his hand. "I'll do as you say. I'm already so old. I really don't want to be burdened by young people who can control Xing Xiao." "That's right. It's good that you agree. The Sheng family will do this well. We will not let Chi-Chi suffer." Grandpa Shen did not say anything else. He felt that the Sheng family agreed to it too easily. It made him feel uneasy. So, after Mama Sheng left, he looked at his son. "What happened?" After Shen Jianchuan heard the question, he smiled. "Eighth brother Sheng is really a surprise winner." "What do you mean?" Chapter 244. Then I shouldn't have agreed. Grandpa Shen snorted. "Father, which one of the younger ones in the Sheng family managed to escape the fate of an arranged marriage? But if Xing Xiao could get rid of his shackles and get engaged to Mu Chi-Chi, it means that he has a solution when it comes to marriage. I'm just afraid that Mu Chi-Chi would fall into the abyss when she marries the Sheng family. She wouldn't be able to handle it." Grandpa Shen was worried. "I think it's interesting. Even if it doesn't work out, Mu Chi-Chi has the Shen family and us." Grandpa Shen nodded. Since the Sheng family was willing to let them get engaged, the future could be discussed later. What if Mu Chi-Chi was unwilling to marry Xing Xiao? Things developed quickly. It was only one night. By the time Mu Chi-Chi woke up, her world had changed. She got dressed and went downstairs. She found Mama Sheng busy in the open kitchen. Mu Chi-Chi's face turned pale. But Mama Sheng smiled at her. "Xiao-Chi, you're awake? Pretty aunt, all the parents know about what happened between you and that little rascal. How could you do this to yourself and not tell anyone?" In Mama Sheng's eyes, it was Xing Xiao who forced Mu Chi-Chi. It was her son who let others down. "Pretty aunt, it's not Xiao Zhao's business. Mother, I still need to go to work." Xing Xiao, who was sitting in the living room, said to his mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. "Xiao-Chi, take a seat. Breakfast will be ready soon. You can go to school after you eat." Mu Chi-Chi looked at Xing Xiao in confusion. But Xing Xiao hooked his finger at her. "Do you think you're dreaming? What's going on? I've told you that I want you to be my little wife. With that, Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi's thin lips where Mama Sheng could not see. Mu Qiqi was startled. At the same time she was puzzled. But she did not ask. She waited until the three of them had breakfast. Then she heard some news from Mama Sheng and learned why this happened. However, she was very uncomfortable. So, when Xing Xiao sent her to school and they were alone, she asked him seriously, "Why did you do that? Why did everyone treat you like a demon? What's the difference?" Xing Xiao asked her in return. "I'm such a person. I do whatever I want and I'm lawless. They're used to it. Xiao Xiao, everything else is not important. The most important thing is that I want to marry you as soon as possible. But your family thinks I already bullied you. Haven't you been bullied enough by me? Wait to be my little bride." Xing Xiao's words had a double meaning. Mu Qiqi blushed. "As long as I can marry you, I don't care what others think of me. Just wait to be my little bride." At that moment, Mu Qiqi couldn't say anything. Xing Xiao spoiled her too much, which made her feel uneasy. "I won. Xing Qiqi Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao I Xing, single quote shout. Really? Mu Xiao was. Really? Mu Xing asked. Xiao Xiao Xing Kit. Mu Xing. Xiao. Mu Mu Tian Ti Tian. After saying that, Xing Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of Xingting University. "From now on I can openly send you to school." Mu Qiqi kissed Xing Xiao on the cheek when she arrived at the school gate. Then she got out of the car. But someone still saw who the man in the car was. Why does he look so familiar? Isn't he the Crown Prince of Huangyao? The Crown Prince is sending Mu Qiqi to school? Mu Qiqi thought that her life would be in a whirlpool in the future. But she loved Xing Xiao. That was enough to overcome everything. The two of them were about to get engaged. She had never dreamed that she would marry Xing Xiao one day. The news of their engagement soon spread throughout the Sheng family. Everyone in the Sheng family was shocked. They did not expect that Xing Xiao would get engaged to an 18-year-old girl because he had forced himself on her. And the girl was the daughter of the Shen family. But the Sheng family was not surprised after that. Actually, there were many such things in rich families. Many young masters of rich families got married because they were pregnant. Actually, it was just a matter of carelessness. Actually, the two of them didn't like each other that much. When the time was up, they would just divorce. The female would get a satisfactory breakup fee and find another person to marry. Everyone was happy. So, in their opinion, Xing Xiao was just careless and coveting Mu Qiqi's youth. When Mu Qiqi lost her advantage, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. So, the Sheng family just wanted to watch the show. Only the two people involved knew how serious they were. Still, Xing Xiao would not come out to explain himself. Otherwise, the marriage would not go through. Everyone in the Sheng family thought that he was just fooling around. But in fact, only he knew very well what Mu Qiqi's position was. So, when Xing Xiao's brothers and sisters abroad heard about it, they only called him to congratulate him. They did not care about his engagement ceremony with Mu Qiqi. Of course, he did not care about it. When you get married, second brother will come back to congratulate you. By the way, this little sister-in-law is so young. Xing Xiao's eyes darkened. Because these people were looking down on Mu Qiqi. But he was not in a hurry to expose the little one's position in his heart. There would be more to see in the future. Only fourth sister called Xing Xiao. "I'm still in Vienna. I'll be back in 2 days. You must attend Xing Xiao's engagement ceremony. Fourth sister, bring back more gifts. Now you know how to ask for something for sister-in-law?" "I know. Don't worry." The fourth sister of the Sheng family was also a legendary woman. Still, that would have to wait for another time. All of a sudden, the news that the Crown Prince of Huangyao was about to get engaged was spreading in the circle. Everyone was in an uproar, especially since his bride was only 18 years old. It was very interesting to talk about it. Mu Qiqi was the daughter of the Shen family. There was nothing wrong with her background. But when it came to her birth, it became a hot topic. Even so, outsiders did not find it strange that Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were a match. After all, Xing Xiao was like a demon. Outsiders would be puzzled if he married an innocent young lady from a well-matched family. In this way, this young couple could be considered to be birds of a feather? Chapter 245. Not only the nobles received the news, but third brother's family also received the news. Third brother was shocked when he received the news. He could not believe that such a thing would happen after he left the Shen family for a few days. If Shen Ruoi knew about it, she would go crazy. That was right. Shen Ruoi had gone crazy. Why could Mu Qiqi do it but not Shen Ruoi? Because when she thought of how Mama Sheng had humiliated her and mocked her in the Shen family, she did not expect that she would accept Mu Qiqi in the next moment. It was a huge joke. Are the Sheng family crazy? How could they allow Xing Xiao to get engaged to a bastard? Aren't they afraid of being laughed at? Sun Suyun scolded. Why would Xing Xiao be afraid of being laughed at? He is just a man who plays with women. I will wait and see how happy Mu Qiqi will be after she gets engaged to this man. I will wait and hear the siren of the ambulance. I will send her to the hospital and she will never be able to come out. Mom, I am the real daughter of the Shen family. But I lost to a bastard. I feel terrible just thinking about it. Sun Suyun could not accept it. But Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were getting engaged. No one could change it. I will make the Sheng family regret it. Shen Ruo's eyes were red. Her eyes were filled with hatred. She hated Mu Qiqi, Xing Xiao, the Sheng family and the Shen family. At that moment she felt that the whole world was her enemy. At that moment she made up her mind. It was because she had used her special channel to know that the eldest son of the Sheng family liked to have lovers outside. Wasn't it because of God? Just wait and see Mu Qiqi. In fact, the news had spread like wildfire. Mu Qiqi felt helpless. Because she could no longer keep a low profile. However, no matter how much she was criticized at school, she forgot all her worries in an instant when she saw Xing Zhao's car parked outside the school gates. Because she could enjoy Xing Zhao's love now. She could not care less about what the others said. Xing Xiao was leaning against the car and waiting. When Mu Qiqi came to his side, he put his arm around her neck and kissed her red lips in front of everyone. The crowd gasped, but Xing Xiao simply shielded Mu Qiqi and said to the people around them, "Let's meet my fiancé." His smile made the people around him feel a sense of danger, so they took a few steps back. This man was handsome and outstanding. He was like a diamond that was hard to come by in the world. However, his level of danger was at the same level as his excellence. How much courage would it take to be with such a man, to get used to his trickery and mischief? At that thought, the onlookers began to admire Mu Qiqi's courage. But only Mu Qiqi knew that behind his back, he was a normal and warm man. Let's go. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and let her get into the car. Soon their car arrived at the entrance of Xingting University and left. However, the discussions behind him were still incessant. Mu Qiqi must be a god to be able to be with the crown prince. That's right. Ordinary people would not even dare to breathe loudly when they are with the crown prince. They would be scared out of their wits. In terms of reputation, the two of them are surprisingly compatible. On the way back, Mu Qiqi saw that the entrance of the university had never been so crowded. She could not help but ask Xing Xiao, "Are you coming to pick me up every day? Are you not willing?" Xing Xiao tilted his head and looked at his little one. It's just too high profile. Mu Qiqi scratched her head. I'm not used to it. Get used to it. Also, let's go to the Shen family for dinner tonight. My mother is there to discuss the engagement date with your grandfather. Mu Qiqi felt that it was unreal. She pinched her face to prove that she was not dreaming. The thing that she did not dare to think about before had become real. She was really afraid that it was all just her imagination. Although we are engaged, no one in the Sheng family acknowledges our relationship. It's because they think that I'm just fooling around. They don't take you seriously. Xing Xiao told Mu Qiqi the truth while driving. So, they might not acknowledge your identity in the future. They might even make things difficult for you and humiliate you. And our engagement is not a complete victory. I just want you to stand by my side openly. But there is still a long way to go. Mu Qiqi felt more at ease after listening to him. She was already feeling uneasy because of the quick engagement. But now that she knew the truth, she was not afraid anymore. Thank you, Xiao Xiao, for not lying to me. Although they don't take you seriously, I take you seriously. No matter who they are, no matter what they want to do, they will have to get through me before they bully you. This is my promise to you. Xing Xiao never made promises to anyone. It was because he had to keep his promise when he said it. But at this moment he made a promise to the little one who was the most important to him. As my fiancé, if you are still bullied, it means that I'm useless. I'm marrying you because I love you. I love you, little one. Mu Qiqi jumped into Xing Xiao's arms when she heard the word, love. Xing Xiao could only stop the car to comfort the little one who was overjoyed. Was there any doubt that Xing Xiao loved her? Her family background was not good. She did not have much ability. She was just a university student. Moreover, she was studying in such an unlikable major. If it was not because of love, she really could not think of any other good points in her. After a while, the car was finally restarted. The two of them quickly returned to the Shen family. Grandpa Shin snorted when he saw Xing Zhao's expression. He did not look happy. But Mama Xing was very happy. Because before they came back, they had already decided on the date of their engagement. The 3rd of next month will be a big day. Chi-Chi, let's hold the engagement ceremony on that day. Is that okay? Mu Chi-Chi suddenly raised her head. She looked at Mama Xing and then at Xing Xiao. It's up to you. But Xing Xiao suddenly said, it's too slow. There are less than 20 days left. I said it's too slow, Xing Xiao repeated coldly. I think next week is not bad. Chapter 246. I won't let her be wronged. She is already wrong being with you. When Grandpa Shin thought of their seniority, he still felt uncomfortable. She's only 18 years old. Which 18-year-old girl is going to get engaged and get married? She is basically betting her whole life on you. Mama Sheng felt bad when she heard that. Because she felt that the Sheng family had wronged Mu Chi-Chi even more. Xing Xiao was a devil. He might like her today but he might change his taste tomorrow. What would happen to Mu Chi-Chi then? She knew very well what Grandpa Sheng and her husband were thinking. They both thought that it was just a girl and it was not a big deal to get engaged. It was not a marriage, so they did not care who Xing Xiao was engaged to. But when it came to marriage, it would be a different story. So they did not care about Mu Chi-Chi at all. Mama Sheng could not help feeling sad when she thought about that. The most beautiful years of a girl's life had been ruined by her own devil son. Don't worry, Grandpa Shen. No matter when it is, the Sheng family will give Mu Chi-Chi the grandest ceremony. We will not mistreat her. Xing Xiao knew that his mother wanted to make it up to Mu Chi-Chi. But he did not say it out. Anyway, he wanted the whole world to feel sorry for Mu Chi-Chi. Xiao-Chi, let me be frank. If the Sheng family does not treat you well one day, you don't have to endure it. Come back to the Shin family. Dad and Grandpa can help you. I know, Grandpa. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes turned red. Because she knew that it was difficult for her grandfather to accept her relationship with Xing Xiao. Now she had to put on an act for him. As a grandchild, she was really unfilial. If that's the case, I will let the Sheng family arrange the engagement. Mama Xing smiled. Then she grabbed Mu Chi-Chi's hand in front of Grandpa Shin. It must be hard for you to follow my son. Mu Chi-Chi turned to look at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao only smiled. Mu Chi-Chi said nothing. She just held Mama Sheng's hand. I'll get the best designer in the world to design an engagement dress for Chi-Chi. From today onwards, she's half my daughter. Mama Sheng was very thorough in her work. So the Shin family was not dissatisfied with her. Even when Xin Jianchuan was in the hospital, she went there specially to reassure him. Xin Jianchuan was undergoing rehabilitation. Now he could speak freely. After hearing Mama Sheng's words, he smiled. To be honest, we know very well what the Sheng family is like. But my daughter went to the Sheng family. This is her choice. As her father, I can't stop her. I want her freedom. Mama Sheng smiled. If the Sheng family bullies Xiao-Qi one day, you don't have to doubt that I, as her father, would have no choice but to fall out with the Sheng family no matter what the old man does. The marriage between two big families and Xiao-Qi is only 18 years old. These topics are enough to stir up the whole of Jianchuan. I only hope that the Sheng family can give her a sincere engagement ceremony. Mama Xing knew Xin Jianchuan very well. So she told him honestly. I can't control others. But I can promise that I will not be biased toward Xiao-Qi just like Xing Xiao. As long as Chi-Chi is in the Sheng family, I will stand by her side and do my best to protect her. According to seniority, I should call you aunt. But Xiao-Qin, we have known each other for many years. I trust you. My only daughter is in your hands. Don't worry. Mama Xing nodded. After leaving the Shin family, Xing Xiao brought Mu Chi-Chi to the small mansion to meet Su Zipei. Su Zipei had not seen Mu Chi-Chi since she knew that they were going to be engaged. Now that she saw her, she hugged Mu Chi-Chi and cried. I never thought that this day would come so soon. Chi-Chi, you are only 18 years old. I never thought that you would marry into the Sheng family at 18 years old. Aunt, don't be like this. In the future, I won't be able to help you with your life. I just want to tell you that in my heart, you will always be my daughter. No matter when, the door of the villa will always be open for you. This will always be your home. Lu Wenhua told Xing Xiao that he had bought the small mansion from Grandpa Sheng. Now the small mansion belonged to the Lu family. It was because Su Zipei did not want to leave this place. She wanted to stay here all the time. If one day Mu Chi-Chi could not stay in the Sheng family anymore, she would still have a familiar place to stay. And I am still your Chi-Chi. I will never change. Su Zipei hugged Mu Qiqi and turned to Xing Xiao. Young Master Xing, over the past few days there have been people constantly reminding me, threatening me and beating me up. It's all because of this little thing. And you should know better than anyone how much I care about this little thing. It was rare for Xing Xiao to say such warm words. Su Zipei nodded with tears in her eyes. I understand. That's good. But the person she loved the most in her heart was about to get engaged. Su Zipei felt sad when she had to send her away. All right, you're also pregnant. Crying for too long will harm your health. Lu Wenhua saw Su Zipei was sad, so he quickly comforted her. Mu Qiqi was surprised when she heard what he said. Aunt Yu, I didn't have time to tell you. I'm an old woman now. That's good. Mu Qiqi quickly helped Su Zipei to sit down. Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao stayed in the small mansion for the night. It was the first time that Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao stayed in the same room in front of Su Zipei. At night, the two of them lay on the bed in Mu Qiqi's old room. Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Xiao's chest and giggled. Looking at the time, Aunt and Uncle had sex before we registered. If you want to see me more, we can stay here before we get engaged. Xing Xiao kissed her forehead and said. Then, are we going to stay with Xing Xiao after we get engaged? Mu Qiqi asked Xing Xiao. No need. Mom is already preparing a new place for us, Xing Xiao replied. Xingting University is quite good. It's close to the school. No. It's not convenient to have a private bodyguard there. Xing Xiao said to Mu Qiqi with a complicated expression. You are my little one. I must protect her with all my might. He knew the Xing family too well. The security guards could easily open the back door for the Xing family in the villa near Xingting University. So he needed a separate villa for surveillance and protection. Mu Qiqi would not understand it now. And he did not want her to understand it now. What do you mean? Listen to me. Listen to your husband. Do you understand? Mu Qiqi's heart was filled with sweetness when she heard the word, husband. Chapter 247. The 18-year-old Mu Qiqi had won Xing Zhao's heart and entered the Xing family. She was about to become the legendary crown princess. When the news spread, it became a hot topic in Jianchuan. Huang Yao had beautified Mu Qiqi in public relations. They had also done a lot of publicity and activities. Papa Xing had completely regarded his son's engagement ceremony as an important publicity tool. Not only that, he even called Xing Xiao into his office the next day. The father and son rarely sat together to talk about personal matters. Of course, in Xing Zhao's heart, there was no place for him as a father. Qiqi is just a little girl. You should coax her. She is the daughter of the Shen family after all. But you should understand your grandfather's intention. Qiqi is still young. You still have a few years to think about it. When the time comes, you can tell me if you don't like this girl. You will know how to deal with the aftermath with old Shen. She is just a girl. Don't take her seriously. It is a man's talent to put on a show. Xing Xiao knew what his father was thinking, but he never cared about what his father thought. As long as his little one entered the Sheng family, he would only chase others out of the Sheng family. If anyone dared to touch his people, he would immediately disown them. As for your wife, I will keep an eye out for you. You can take a look at her from time to time. Qiqi is good. But she can't help you much after weighing the pros and cons. If there is nothing else, I will leave now. Xing Xiao did not want to talk nonsense with the old man. If you have the time to find a woman for me, you should focus on improving your performance. Huang Yao's quarterly report will be out soon. Papa Sheng's face darkened. You bastard. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He walked out of Papa Sheng's office. Jing Yun was waiting at the door of the office. When he saw Xing Xiao coming out, he quickly went up to him. Young master, Madam has asked me to find you a new place to live. I've already found a few villas. You can choose one before I report to Madam. Put the documents on my desk. Xing Xiao said coldly. I've already released him. But what other unpleasant things did the CEO say? Just tell him I am not around when he comes to me. Xing Xiao turned to Jing Yun and instructed, also report to me if you find out that he has taken a liking to a rich young lady. I'm going to nip all his plans in the bud. Understood. And young master, the entertainment magazines are using Miss Qiqi as a celebrity. She must be feeling a heavy burden. After hearing this, Xing Xiao stopped in his tracks and thought for a moment. Buy that magazine and donate the land to build public toilets for the country. It's time to give back to society. It is time to repay society. With those words, Jing Yun turned and was about to leave his office, but before he left he said meaningfully, "Young master, you must protect Miss Qiqi." Xing Xiao did not say anything. Instead he looked at Jing Yun. Xing Xiao did not say anything. But he gave Jing Yun a look. Xing Xiao looked at the villa information on the table and immediately opened it. He had to make sure that it was the safest and most confidential place before he let Chier move in. The news of their engagement had spread like wildfire. Lu Qianqian had also taken some time to meet Mu Qiqi for tea at a cafe near the school. However, Mu Qiqi was too famous now. That was why people would talk about her wherever she went. Lu Qianqian felt uncomfortable. But Mu Qiqi was calm. Lu Qianqian was not amused. "You are acting like the crown princess now. It is always good to get used to it. Have you booked the time?" Lu Qianqian asked enviously. "Maybe next week or next month. Then I can help you to calm down backstage. But you know I won't be there. I don't want to be a burden." Lu Qianqian said self-deprecatingly. "Qianqian, it is good that you understand. You're my best friend. I am the happiest when you and the crown prince get engaged." Lu Qianqian was tearing up. She held Mu Qiqi's hand. "You and the crown prince must be together. That will give me the courage to move forward." Mu Qiqi's heart ached. She did not care what the outside world thought of her. But she did not want her best friend to be humiliated under the spotlight. "Where's Lin Mu? Have you not contacted him recently?" Lu Qianqian wiped her tears and smiled. "That coward? Don't mention it. We have not contacted each other for a long time." Mu Qiqi did not say anything else. She walked up to Lu Qianqian and hugged her best friend. "You will meet the best." "I believe so too." They sat in the cafe for a long time. Then Mu Qiqi returned to the little mansion. But Xing Xiao was already home. He was with Su Zipei discussing how to make the simplest chicken soup. Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red when she saw that. Do you dare to eat my chicken?" Xing Xiao leaned on the sofa and asked Mu Qiqi solemnly. "I will be very supportive." Mu Qiqi stopped crying and smiled. Xing Xiao nodded and followed Su Zipei. No one knew what they were talking about in the kitchen. This man was fighting in the market during the day. But when he came home he behaved like this. The Sheng family would be very surprised if they saw him. After dinner, the man took out a photo of the new house and said to Mu Qiqi, "Jing Yun found this place. Take a look and see if you like it." Xing Xiao was sitting on the sofa. Mu Qiqi was sitting in the gap between his legs. He was hugging Mu Qiqi from behind. Mu Qiqi took the photo and looked at it. "What's so special about it?" "It's called Jing Ting. It's very private. And it has a comprehensive security system." Xing Xiao answered. "It meets all my requirements." "Then I'll listen to you." Mu Qiqi smiled and kept the photo. When Xing Xiao heard that, he turned her neck and kissed her lips. Mu Qiqi was stunned. "Aunt and the others are here? It's so late. They should have gone to bed." This man was shameless just for a bite of meat. Why would he care about the place? But Mu Qiqi stared at the door of Su Zipei's room the whole time. She was afraid that the old couple would come out. It would be embarrassing. But because of the secret thrill they were more comfortable than ever. But when they returned to the room, Mu Qiqi hid in Xing Xiao's arms and felt that she could not show her face at all. This man was really hateful. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.